Today's episode is brought to you by JerkSwag.
When you're stuck in a rut, it's a comfort to know that help is on the way. So whether it's a simple malfunction or you're deep in a soggy trench, rest assured that the boys at Camel Towing will take care of you. Lickety split.
What? We're live on the air. Nice.
Oh, we hadn't been? I've been sitting here talking to myself.
I'm not surprised by this at all. You know, it's really hilarious when players talk smack, but they don't have any idea what they're talking about. And it's fascinating. You know, Baker Mayfield responded to Lions safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson's remarks this week that the Buccaneers are without a good quarterback. It's hilarious. Apparently,
What'd he say?
he said, if you give that Tampa group a good quarterback, that's a great group. Evans, Godwin, Russell Gage, that's a great group. I played against them for real. Mayfield responded on Wednesday saying, I don't think he's really watched film because he mentioned Russell Gage. We love Russell, but Russell hasn't played a snap for us all year. Talking smack, man. I can't. That's like, God, what did, who was that? A year or two ago. The hell's his name?
Hey, I think Baker's balling out, bro. I think Baker's got himself a contract somewhere next year for sure.
I mean, I don't see any reason why it's not with the Bucs, to be honest with you. I mean, considering how well he played this past week, I mean, they just thumped the Eagles, man. Like he balled big time.
Well, we knew the Eagles were struggling.
Yeah, for sure. But he didn't play down to the competition. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. Stephen A. Smith, a couple years ago, that's what it was. He was talking NFL. That's what people are like, why does he bother talking about the NFL? Just stick to basketball? Because he made some kind of comment I think it was a year or two ago. He made a comment about somebody playing, like a tight end or somebody playing for someone somewhere, and somebody come up there and was like, dude, Stephen A., like, he hasn't played for that team for like a year or two or something. Or he retired. Whoever it was he was talking about had already retired or something like that, like a year or two beforehand. It's like, bro, like, you know, won't know. So you're gonna be, if you're talking smack, if you're gonna get involved, then you need to kind of brush up on your information. But what are you gonna do? Yeah, the Browns just completely decided to. They parted ways with offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt. In a staff shakeup, the Browns have also fired running backs coach Stump Mitchell and decided not to renew the contract to tight ends coach T.C. McCartney. Damn, dude. Like, had a bad game against Houston and decided it was time to shake up the offense. I'm curious, considering the quarterback that was there is not going to be the quarterback of the future. So I'm kind of curious about that.
Yeah.
And why the hell haven't they renewed the contract of the tight ends coach, considering tight end was their best skill position this year? I mean, it was like, wow. I don't know. That's wild. You know the Browns started.
You ever watch
5
that show,
different quarterbacks?
Phantom Work?
No, I have not.
I love it.
Browns started 5 different quarterbacks this season. You know that? Still finished 11-6. That's wild.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was 5. Good Lord.
Defense carried them for a while.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Maybe with this information that Allah shared with us about James Dolan, maybe he and a bunch of other Knicks fans will get their wish and be forced to sell the team.
What an idiot.
Most Knicks fans and Rangers fans can't stand that dude.
Yeah.
We'll see. Speaking of Allah, man, he's ghosting me. I don't know what's up.
Streets is tough.
He was the only person that didn't actually respond to the group text regarding time. I mean, he made some comments in and around the same time we were talking about all that. But I just texted him asking if he was good, and he hadn't read my message yet. He always keeps me on read usually, so I can tell when he's seen the message and he hasn't responded. Hasn't even seen it yet. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe he's making a grand entrance. It would be Allah. Man, I gotta get these glasses soon. Holy hell. Oh, in the glasses situation? I'm blind as hell. That's what the situation is. I can't read small print to save my life. It's there, I can see it, but it's blurry, and it's just driving me nuts. I had a situation with the glasses originally. Like I ordered them because I bought the frames online because they were cheaper, and then took them to the optometrist that I go to so they could send them off to have the lenses put in. And I ordered the glasses, and they were on the way, and then they got lost, and then nobody knew where they were, and company was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, send you another pair." I'm like, "No, just give me my money back, man. I'm good." And then that was a whole rigmarole for like 2 days. They tried to not send me my money. I'm like, "Bro, I asked you for my money. You're not." Because I mean, when I was like looking for the glasses and everything, they never took any responsibility for them. It was just a really weird situation. Oh, I'm sure they'll get there kind of thing. It wasn't really like, that sucks, let's just send you another pair and we'll overnight them at our cost. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, that would be
nah, dog.
And it was just like, oh, but we're tracking it and blah, blah, blah. And I think eventually they finally emailed me and said they got sent back to them or something. I'm like, I don't care, just give me my money. So they gave me my money and I went somewhere else and got them. That's why this whole thing's been delayed. And then I had to take them to the optometrist once I got them, and they had to send them off to wherever their lab, wherever they do them, because they don't do them there in house. Some don't, like quite a few don't. Especially the smaller, mom and pop optometrists. Like the bigger ones that you go to, they'll do it in house. Obviously, they got the whole thing, but this one doesn't, and it's right around the corner from work. So I went there, and a lot of other people go there, and they sent them off, and they said it was going to be, probably like 7 days. So I'm expecting the call any moment. Probably within the next couple of days that they're in, so I'll have to go down and pick them up. But God, man, I'm dying, dude. Like, I'm dying. Like, I've got readers, like I put them on, which sucks for me to say that openly, but no, I don't do that. I can't do that. I know people that do that. I don't put them on the bridge of my nose.
Oh, come on, it'd be fun.
If I'm not, shut up. If I'm not reading something, I just throw them on the top of my head, like as if they were like.
Well, you got those fancy ones where you just unclick them and they fall down on your chest.
Yeah, that would be like really old man-ish right there. Yeah, no, so.
And
I read a lot, so I had to take my readers with me when I went out of town for a couple of days because I'm reading this really good book that is a mind-blowing book, by the way. It is just insane. It's called Observer. It's an author-scientist collaboration, and they're talking about like parallel universes and all kinds of crazy stuff. It is absolutely insane. I'm about, I don't know, over the course of the last couple of days, I'm about 250 pages in over the last 2 days. Book's about 400, so I've got a little bit left. I'll probably finish it tomorrow. But
I only read books if they're 300 pages or less.
I love a good read, though, man. Like this book, my parents got it for me for Christmas. I told them like what I was kind of into, and this one's a little bit out of scope. What I told them I was into, I told them that I do appreciate, like reading like Fiction, nonfiction, doesn't really matter. I like whodunits. I like detective stuff. I like whatever. It doesn't really matter as long as it's a good author, a good book. And I told them that, I'll dig on science fiction every once in a while. And funny thing about it is they get me this book, and I haven't told them that yet, but they give me this book, and it's not a science fiction book. It's science and fiction because of the collaboration between the author and the scientist. Is a real life like science, one of the most renowned scientists in the world, and it's science and fiction. So I think that's where the confusion lies. But I'm gonna give the book to my mom after I'm done reading it. Let her read it. She'll dig it too. She was into like medicine and science and stuff when she was in college. So yeah, so it's a fascinating read, man. Like it's tough. I got to put it down every once in a while because I'm like, holy hell, this is mind blowing. Like it's wild. It's really like doing like neurosurgery and putting like a chip in somebody's brain so they can like. The theory behind one of the doctors is that this is a theory that actually a lot of scientists have had for the last several hundred years, is that everything that you see only exists because you observe it. The idea that if all of a sudden there was a table in a room, for example, right? If the table sat in a room in its own, it ceases to exist unless it's actually being observed. That's kind of the theory behind this. That's kind of the whole premise. And so the idea is...
But I had to have bought it to put it in there, so it's obviously real.
Well, you may not have bought it. I'm just saying that the table exists in a room. It may not have been something that you purchased. Can you turn that music down just a little bit in my ear? Or turn it off. Whatever. Whatever works. It's fine. It's fine. It's no problem.
No worry, it's his first day.
It's his first day. He's interning here.
So I got a random question.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with what you were just talking about.
That's fine. That's why it's called a random question. I get it.
So I'm not used to this pregame kind of thing, right? So I'm usually getting here towards the tail end of it.
Uh-huh.
When you were just talking about that book, were you talking to me, Christian, or the audience?
The music's still loud, dude. And I only have one headphone in my ear. Crispy, is that loud for you?
No.
Oh, it's not?
It's okay. I mean, it's maybe a little louder to talk over.
Where are you pulling the music from?
Copyright YouTube.
Oh, all right. I thought you would have had I thought you had a library of some stuff.
His iPod.
His iPod. I'm talking to whomever's listening.
Okay.
No one in particular. We're talking amongst ourselves. If other people happen to be listening, then that's fine.
So, have you watched Severed on Apple TV Plus?
Have I watched what?
Severance.
Severance. I started watching
Yes.
it. Yeah, I've watched a few. I watched the first season in its entirety.
Oh, you would know if you did.
I have not watched the whole first season.
Ooh. So just where you were kind of going with that story, that's what I started thinking about was Severance, where like they put this chip in you and click.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've watched the first few episodes.
You got to give the whole season. You got to power through. I know it's slow.
Yeah, I've heard. I will.
It's tough, but
I'd rather you not have music at all right now, to be honest with you, dude. That music is so freaking loud. But it's so weird because the music you've had in the past is not that loud. That's really loud.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, it really is your first day, isn't it? I mean, this is ridiculous. Stop playing music. I mean, I don't know what part of it. Just stop playing music. I don't know how much more stop means stop. Like it's red light, green light, right? Simon says stop. I mean, do I need to do something like that? I don't know how this needs to work, but yeah, so like if you like they put this chip in you and then it's wild, man. It's even hard to explain, but apparently based on this particular theory, is that once you go into this, like they do a post-op thing where after the chip has been embedded and you heal a little bit, they do a post-op deal. They hook up some wires to you. They lay you down. You go, like I could be talking to you. And if they did that to me, once they flip the switch, then all of a sudden I would just kind of like go limp, be blank. Everything's fine. And then what they see on the screen is me getting up and then doing a bunch of other stuff. And basically what the theory is I'm creating an alternate universe in that moment. I'm creating it. So now, even when I leave it, it still exists. So the idea is the possibility of, living forever through alternate universes. Like even if you don't live here, you live on in another universe.
Do you have to take the Millennium Falcon to get there?
You might have to jump. Yeah, it's a possibility. It's a very good possibility.
What was that one? Quantum Leap? Where?
Good show. Yeah, that's an old school show. I love that show. Nobody's mentioned Quantum Leap in a while. That's a good show. Yeah, this book is insane. It's hard to even explain. But then there's obviously storylines around it as well, behind the main protagonist and her situation, her personal life, and everything that's going on. It's wild, man.
I want to say there's a newer version of Quantum Leap right now.
Is there?
Yeah. What was that? NBC?
I think I may have heard. Do you know what, they've just regurgitated so many shows
sure.
that I can't keep up. Like, there's new versions of everything. New version of Hawaii 5-0, new version of this, new version of this. It's just like, I'm like,
Magnum PI.
Can't keep up.
Did they do Chips?
I don't think they've done Chips, but who knows? I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't pay enough attention. Too crazy. Too much.
I'm taking all of my vitamins.
It's just really like this goes back to the conversations we've had before about, there's just a lack of originality. So it's just like, let's just make new shit. Let's just recreate something that was popular in the 80s or 90s and just do it all over again with new actors and everything. And I'm like, some of them are good, some of them aren't, but it's just a lack of originality. Nobody has any good storytelling anymore. Nobody's coming up with new ideas. So it really, and that just goes to show you how much it just basically went out the window. Probably, I don't know, probably in the mid 2000s.
Sports is so great.
I mean, in the mid 2000s, that was pretty much it. End of story. No more original stuff. So,
hey, have you been keeping up with Ink Master?
I
had a new season come out this year.
I have not seen the new season this year. Wife and I usually watch that, but I haven't been watching that. When did it? Is it like they're in mid season now or what?
Oh no, it's already.
Which is understandable considering he's coming down 17. That's in red. Whatever. Crispy, there you are. You're not frozen anymore, or are you still frozen?
Uh-oh.
Okay, you're good.
Yeah, I caught that with you a couple of times as well.
What were you asking me?
No, I was saying that Stacey and I were watching it between Paramount Plus.
Uh-huh.
We were going, we would watch we got caught up. They were like three episodes in for the season when we started, and then we'd have to wait till the following week because it was alive.
Yeah.
So,
I could probably go back and watch it on Paramount then. I didn't know that it was a new one was on. I'm sure the wife will be excited. So
yeah, depending on the last time you watched one, if you have Paramount Plus, you might go back a couple of seasons, get caught up kind of thing. Because there was a gap where they didn't do a couple. Like, what's his name? The dude from Alice in Chains. He's not the host anymore.
Okay.
Dave?
So Dave.
Was it Dave Navarro?
Yeah, Dave Navarro. The last season we watched was his last hosting job. Now, my understanding is that the next season he wasn't the host anymore, but was still a part of it in some way.
I think he was like a guest, like he would pop in from time to time.
Okay. All right. And then
This
that
was
was
a good
also
season. So Stacey and I always like to so we watch the very first challenge that they do.
Yeah.
And then we pick who we think is going to win the title.
Yeah.
And so we've always do that on all of the different things we won. I'm glad to say that I picked the guy right off the rip.
Oh, nice.
And I won. So
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good artist.
Yeah.
Real good artist.
Wife and I will usually do that when we watch certain things. We usually do that with Ink Master. Also do that with The Amazing Race. We pick a team at the beginning who we think is gonna end up winning it all. And 2 years in a row, I have picked the winner and the runner-up. So,
Nice.
yeah, I love
Still
that
have
show.
never seen that.
You've
I know
never
about
seen
it.
The
I know
Amazing
what it
Race?
is. No, I've never sat down and like watch a season of it. No.
So good, man.
I know what it's about.
Yeah. I just like it because they go all over the world and do cool shit. Like, it's just different, you know?
Yeah, I used to watch Survivor, but I stopped watching that too.
Yeah. Wife got back into it this past season. She said it was really good. I'm not going to watch it, though.
Stacy went back to season 1, has been binge watching every season.
Wow.
Like, it's nonstop. Like, she watches it, or excuse me, listens to it in the car when she's driving to and from work. And
So that's her thing right now. Just that.
oh, dude, she always has an earpiece in and listening or watching
That's
Survivor.
wild.
There was like 40 seasons or something like that. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
she's close. She's getting close to getting caught up.
I remember the host, Jeff. I forget his actual whole name. It's Jeff something, I think, right?
I don't know if it's something, but
It might be Jeff something.
Oh.
I remember when I stopped watching it, there was it was right about the time he had said that he was thinking about not doing it anymore. That's about the time I stopped watching it, and then he just renewed his contract, and he's been doing it for, I don't know how long since. I haven't watched Survivor in shit. I don't even know how long it's been.
yeah. Did you hear from Allah?
Yeah, he's stuck in traffic.
Perfect. All right, I'm gonna step away for a sec.
All right. I'm gonna bust his balls when he gets here. Like, you know, maybe you could let us know when you were stuck in traffic. I don't know.
Should we like start the episode as he's sitting down?
No, probably not a good idea because he's probably not gonna be too happy about the fact that he was in traffic, which I can relate. I can't stand traffic. It pisses me off, especially when you're really just trying to get somewhere. You're trying to you figured you left in enough time, and then everything just goes against you. It's the worst.
Every day.
Jeez, don't get me started. I don't want to talk about that because that just reminds me of work, and I don't want to talk about work because I'm on vacation.
You watch any movies?
I literally don't want to talk about work, by the way. So you know, I'm not joking.
100%, I won't.
Watch any movies? Have I watched any movies? No, not really. I don't think Have I watched any movies? I want to say I have. I want to say I just watched something I really liked, and now I can't remember what it was. Text the wife and see if she remembers. It's so terrible that I don't remember what it was I watched. But she'll tell me, and then I'll be like, oh my God, that was so amazing. That's right. What movie did we just watch that we really liked?
I've watched the John Wick movies the past 2 nights. Going on for 3 tonight.
Have you never watched them before?
I've seen it.
Okay. I was going to be like, okay.
This is my yearly rewatch.
I got you.
It's one of those you gotta watch once a year.
It's funny you said that because I just actually went through that myself, like randomly, not like by choice necessarily, but
Yeah.
wife was flipping through trying to find something. She's like, let's just turn John Wick on. I'm like,
John
cool.
Wick is always on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And every time it's on TV, me and my dad were like, "Oh, John Wick's on."
You know, I've only ever seen John Wick 1,
Whoa!
Oh my God.
and I can't even remember all of that.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah, why y'all always bust my balls about that?
John Wick's a modern classic.
Because John Wick's like, dude, it's not just any old movie.
I'm not a movie guy.
Oh, God. Can't deal with you.
Hey, have you noticed my hat?
I can't see it from here.
Hold on. I gotta give
What's
you
it say?
a close-up.
Brushwood CC.
Brushwood Country Club? Champion? What is that?
Bushwood. Country
Bushwood
Club
Country Club.
1980 Caddy Day Golf Tournament Championship.
The hell is that?
Ooh, I'm about to pull your golf card.
What are you talking about?
Caddyshack,
Oh, is that what that said?
Championship,
Oh, okay. My bad.
Bushwood Country Club.
Okay, all right. Jeez Louise.
Oh, okay.
Says the guy that I don't watch movies. Now all of a sudden you're gonna bust my
Yeah,
chops.
Yeah, but see, you're the movie guy, and it's easy to forget it.
Give me a break. Jeez. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, that's what it was. She just texted me back. Sharper. It's an Apple TV Plus original. Yeah. It's really good. Really good.
All right, it's go time.
Well, Allah's not here, so I don't know that that's gonna work.
Oh, I thought we still went live, and we'll just see him come across the face of the screen.
Yeah, that's right. Julianne Moore, Sebastian Stan, John Lithgow. Yeah, dude. It's really, yeah. Sebastian Stan's amazing in this movie. Yeah, man.
What is it?
It's called Sharper. It's really one of
You said
those
Apple
like
TV Plus.
yeah, Apple TV Plus original just came out. Yeah, it's one of those, how do I put it, kind of movies. Like you get to the very end and then you're like, oh damn, that's how it all played out. Like whodunit-ish, kind of, sort of. Like who's actually screwing who over, kind of thing. Yeah, it's phenomenal. Really good stuff.
Hey Christian, if I play audio, is it from my computer, is it going to come across to you?
If you share your screen.
But if I don't share my screen, you won't hear it?
No, sir.
Well, I mean, well, you're acting like it's your first day, so I mean, that's
I deserve it.
I mean, that's kind of on you. Stayed in this really nice hotel, Hilton Head. Yeah, and because it's low season, bless you, it's low season. It's cheap and beautiful too. New hotel could not have been up very long because it's clean, beautiful, right next to the beach. Really nice. Woke up this morning and it was freaking like 31 degrees outside. I was like, whoa.
It was 18 up here.
Yeah, I saw that. I was flipping through on my weather app and I was like, how cold is it in all the different places I visited? And I was like, oh, damn, 18, 19, 20, 30. Like, damn. Chile. I think it only reached a high of 46 here.
All right, what you thinking on this top 5?
I don't know, man. No idea. Top five.
Are we going to make picks for the divisional round?
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
We have a... Let's see here. Loss. Okay, I picked every loser last week.
No, you did not.
Yes, I sure enough did.
Are you being serious?
Well, did we officially make picks last week?
Yes, we did.
Well, I circled all the teams. Yeah.
Who'd you pick? So you picked...
I had Rams, Cowboys, Steelers, Dolphins, Cleveland, and the Eagles.
Damn, you really did pick all of them wrong.
Undefeated, baby.
I thought
go.
I was bad. I went 500.
Well, so because we never got to really share reasoning why I picked the way I picked, there was a reason why I did that, especially for the AFC.
Well, Dolphins are obvious.
Well, I had to pick the Dolphins, right? I
Right.
can't not pick my team.
Right.
So then I picked the Steelers to upset the Bills.
Because the Bills are in your division.
Well, so that the next round, the Steelers would have had to have gone to Baltimore, which the Steelers have a winning record against Baltimore.
Oh, I see.
And then we would have went to Cleveland. Or excuse me, Cleveland would have came to, nope, they were the 5 seed. We were the 6 seed. We would have had to have gone to Cleveland. I felt that if we beat the Chiefs, we would definitely beat Cleveland. And then we would play the Steelers in the AFC Championship game.
I see.
Yeah, that's why I did all of it.
All right, he's turning into the neighborhood now.
All right.
Yeah, I picked the Browns. I picked the Chiefs. I picked the Cowboys. I picked the Rams. I picked the Bills. I picked the Bucks to beat the Eagles. I don't know if I was the only person to pick the Bucks. I don't know. I think Allah might have picked the Bucks as well. I'm not sure. Can't remember. But the good thing is we can always find it. There's proof. There's always proof. Yeah, I really thought I thought I was 500. I thought I was going to have the worst record.
I'll be better this week.
This doesn't get any easier. This next weekend of games. It really doesn't for me. I don't see it being an easy pick.
I mean, there might be one game where I'm going to be like, The other ones I feel pretty confident.
I think there's one game that's the obvious. I think the rest of them are up for grabs.
Don't be sleeping on them Packers.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's hard. That's why I'm not. The only one that I'm really confident about is one of the AFC games. The rest of them, I'm like, I don't know here. I'm not really sure what to make of these games. I can't. The way the Packers are playing right now, and you know what? The way the Bucks are playing, stand by, dude. Like, Lions better not sleepwalk that game like the Cowboys did against the Packers. Because Cowboys were sleepwalking. I think they thought they were just going to, like, they're at home. They haven't lost at home all year, and they were just going to walk in and just do what they needed to do and win the game, you know? And Packers didn't roll over for them. So it's, I don't know. I don't know if that coaching job is going to come available or not. Jerry's still mum. Jerry's still mum on McCarthy. He hadn't said one way or the other. Figured he would have done it by now, but who knows?
Man, this is going to get into... I'll save it. I'm sure we'll talk about it. I mean, we got to go with our... Oh, well, your Super Bowl... You still got the Chiefs in your Super Bowl pick, though, right?
Yeah, I do.
So you got to go with them. So I already know who you're taking there.
Yeah, but I also had the Eagles, and I went with the Bucks anyway.
That's why I think that you did go the Eagles.
I did not. You can check the tape.
Okay.
Check
So
the
you
tape.
went against your Super Bowl pick?
Well, I mean, because it would have been easy for me to be like, I had to pick them because I had to pick them because I had them going to the Super Bowl, but they suck. And so, like, I was just, they're not any good. Like, and they obviously proved that point. Sounds like all is here.
Gotcha. Yeah, sucks not having the music playing.
It's got yellow on today. It's got some very
Am I
bright.
going to get paid for the overtime today?
He's got bright shoes on today.
Am I going to get paid for the overtime today?
Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
What do you think about when people say yes?
That's a there's only one thing I think about when I hear that. Oh, he's got a good shirt on today. What's up, dude? Huh? You good? Traffic and fun? Have a good time with that? Oh, no. We don't need that. We don't got time for that. I think of oh damn. What's his name?
Oh, I should have worn my do-rag. Dang it, I forgot it.
He's stupid. He didn't hear that. That was pretty funny.
Yes.
What's his name? What's the name of the movie? Oh God.
Watch the screen. Yes.
I mean, I know what it is. I just can't remember his name.
Man.
It's an MTV original movie, and I can't remember his freaking name. Oh, such a terrible movie anyway, but...
Yeah, but it's one of those terrible movies that you watch.
It had like 2 or 3 funny parts in it.
Training to be a cage fighter.
If I remember one of the scenes, I can remember his name.
He dances.
You're just jealous because I've been online talking to babes all day.
Yes. Yes.
God, what the hell was the name of that movie? Thank you. Damn, I knew I was going to get it eventually, but probably not. Napoleon Dynamite. Damn it. He said it.
Yes.
He said it.
It's just you're just mad, Napoleon, because I've been online chatting with babes all day. Oh goodness.
Yeah, you matching too. You got yellow in your shirt. You got yellow on your kicks.
Man, that looks painful.
You're always styling. Huh? That's why you match? Do they want it? You're a man of the people, but you're not sure what the people want. You're the people's
Is
champ?
that Hacksaw Jim Duggan shirt?
He's asking who that is on there, by the way. He said, is that Hacksaw Jim Duggan? Your face is just fantastic. You're immediately disappointed. Just be like, oh, God. I can't deal
Well,
with
he
this.
had 200 different names, didn't he?
Oh
Sorry,
goodness.
Did not want to disappoint so early in our.
You are on camera, but it's pregame. You can dig in your ass all you want to. Then do what you got to do. There we go. There we go.
Hey, get your balls out too.
I mean, this is balls out. Just take them out. That's a different show. Oh, man. So I know we're only going to be talking about one basketball reference today, per se, but
Are we?
why?
Oh, I forgot to put in the note, but I'll bring it up.
You don't like football anymore?
Yeah, me neither. We don't even have to talk football if we don't want to.
Wow. You guys are really on the anti-football kick, huh? Because he's like, football sucks. I don't want to talk about football. We should just talk basketball. I mean, we can go
Well,
basketball
it
heavy
is-
next week.
Oh, for sure. Because we'll have only 4 games to really talk about, and then 2 games for championship games, and then
Well, not only that, but trade deadline's coming up.
February 8th.
Yeah. A lot to
We
talk
got
about.
about 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, a lot to talk about between now and then. There's going to be some trades early, obviously. Today being obviously one of those.
I
So,
can't wait to see the super team that Pat Riley puts together for us.
What do you want from me? What are you looking at? What is that? What?
Yeah, I just bought it. It's $15. My girl bought it for me.
Yeah, definitely not mine. She get an allowance? Does she get an allowance?
No, from like Christmas.
Oh, word.
And everything she
Yep.
got. I just send that out. I just thought everybody send the album cash now. She paid for her own stuff. And I'm fighting with this damn thing again. Jesus Christ.
I don't know why you don't have it like back towards you more, so you don't have to lean up into it.
Well, first of all,
I didn't move shit. It was like that when I got here. Did you move it? I haven't touched it either. It was like, no, I think it's always been diagonal, slightly. Yeah.
Hey, maybe there's some action. You know, things get moved around.
Well, it is the .com couch, so like maybe things are happening on there, man. Things may be happening on the couch, man. That's all I can tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Is your camera ready? Are you camera ready? Only you would know that.
We gotta fix that mic though. It's like right in front of you.
No dog.
He said no duh. Dude, that's like some 80s shit. No duh.
Is his mic hot yet?
Brother.
Brother.
You should talk about Hulk Hogan, how he saved somebody in a burning car.
There he is.
Did he really?
There
He
he
did.
is.
Somebody was burned in the car.
He saved somebody?
Now, his lie is,
Oh, dear.
because you know he lied a lot, he punctured the tire with a ballpoint pen. No. Yeah, I swear to God. He said. Now, you see why we don't believe him? Now, you see why we don't believe he's a racist ass?
You don't believe that he is? Or you do
He don't
believe
like
that he
black
is?
people. He said it.
Did he say that out loud?
Yes. He said he didn't want his daughter dating any black men. It was recorded, and then he got mad that the recording came out because he said it was a private conversation.
Nothing private anymore. People should know that by
Ask
now.
Donald Sterling.
Hey, she said I can keep her money. She said I don't have to Apple Pay her back for this skin.
Or tell
Hey, nobody cares.
Tell I need the Ninja Turtle skins. I was like 20. Just tell her to send 20 over real quick.
Allah said he wants the Ninja Turtle skin. Can you slide $20, please?
Matter of fact, they had Gambit and Rogue. My daughter bought Rogue. I need the Gambit one. Don't ask me how I know all this stuff. I don't play it. My daughter plays it.
I'm not going to ask you anything.
What? It's not my fault you don't play Fortnite. You don't play any video games.
Not anymore. Used to.
You suck.
Why?
Because video games are the way of the world.
I am an adult.
So?
Human
Oh.
being.
That's not okay. You can't say that.
Oh.
Why not? You can say whatever you want to me, but I can't
No,
say
I'm
that
just
to you.
saying. No, I'm not saying to me the way you said it. Like to the gaming community. Hey, gamers, if we are live, I love y'all. All right.
I don't.
I love gamers. I was just playing WWE 2K23.
At what point do you think you'll stop gaming?
Never.
Never?
No.
You're going to keep gaming until you're like 60, 70 years old? Like keep
Yeah.
playing games?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see what's wrong with that.
I'm just asking. I didn't say anything was wrong with it. I'm just asking a question.
I play Madden.
I used to play
Even
Madden.
though I don't want
Crazy
to.
person.
Madden's terrible.
Why don't you want to play it?
Because it sucks. It hasn't updated since forever.
I wouldn't know. I
That's
haven't played
true.
it forever.
It is.
Maybe it updated the last time I played it. I used to play it all the time. I used to be a Madden fiend.
2K.
I used to play
what was
Madden.
the last year you played?
Me?
90 when the Lions was in the playoffs last. 93.
Shit.
Let me see.
Well, it still had Madden on the cover.
When they used to bring the little ambulance out for the people that got injured.
The ambulance.
Ambulance.
Wee wee.
When was the last time I played? Who was on?
Didn't even play Tiger Woods or anything.
When Vic was on the cover.
No, I played long after that.
Oh,
Vic McNabb.
Sherman.
Sherman was on the cover.
What year was Sherman on the cover?
It's like 12 or something
Gerald
like that.
and
Fitzgerald and Palomalu was on the cover.
When were they on the cover?
That was the year after they played in the Super Bowl. So that was what? 12?
That's probably right around the time. Probably
12-ish, I
right
think.
around there.
Was that
yeah.
12? Yeah, that was like around the time the Jets were still
Ooh.
making the playoffs.
2002 cover. Oh, strong. Dante Culpepper. 2004 was Madden. Sean Alexander was 07.
Sean Alexander, yes, he was.
Oh my God.
McNabb was on like 05, I believe.
Vince Young.
Yep.
5 of our
Peyton Hillis had a cover.
Yes, he did.
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees.
2011.
Um,
Hillis was 12.
I think Hillis might have been
Megatron was 13.
Megatron.
I think Hillis or Megatron were my. I think Hillis may have been the last. I think it was 2011, 2000, maybe 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
2012.
You got Megatron.
It's for sure different than when you played.
I mean, I played it since because like Anthony had it for a few years. Like I played it at Dad's like a couple years back. Like I played it since then, like periodically.
I've got
right?
every version since 18. Oh, JK, I did not get this year's. I did not do Josh Allen for obvious reasons.
It's not that good. I hate this year, and I should.
Well,
told
What
you
is it
this on the
specifically?
cover. Huh?
What is it specifically? Because
About
usually
this-
every year there's
about this
something
one?
that somebody says, you know, like
No, they haven't updated the engine in forever. The problem with this year is they changed kind of like the passing thing. It wasn't. Remember before when they did the cone,
yep,
where like if you had Peyton, it was like big.
Yep. Yep.
So it's not cone, but like it's based off your quarterback's accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can put the ball in certain spots, like you throw it high, you can throw it low, and you could like throw them away from. But it never like no matter if you plant it and throw the ball and put it in the right spot, it'll still go off.
really.
Yeah.
I remember there was always a lot of complaining about the running game. They weren't going fast enough, and then they were going too fast, and it wasn't realistic. And then they weren't spinning, and then the truck, and they couldn't truck, and then it was just all kinds of different things. Every year, it was always something different.
You cannot hold the speed burst button.
You have
Remember
to-
back in the day, you used to be
Now
able.
you have
You
to-
had to hold it. No.
Yeah.
Remember, you used to
Yeah.
hold it and get through the
Yep.
hole.
Yep.
And then it dies out.
Yep.
Now they want you to run regular speed. Don't hold the burst
Mm-hmm.
when you hit the hole, and then like kind of when you get past the second line,
Yep.
then you should speed burst to do your thing.
Gotta be careful when you use that speed burst.
Because they run super slow.
Oh, really?
Like once it runs out, like you hand the ball off, you try to hit the edge, it'll die out, and your man will go.
Oh my God. Okay. You know what? No, I'm not playing. That's no wonder. It's
Like-
a good thing I stopped when
Like he's Quinnen Williams after he caught the pick and stiff on Tyreek. That's how fast they run
Oh
afterwards.
my God, that's terrible. That's
I'm
terrible.
so serious.
This is terrible.
Very.
All right.
I got your Chuck reference.
Thank you. Yeah, why not?
That's not in my nose. That's not.
By the way, this is Christian's first day, just so you know.
Got booger?
No, you're good.
This your first day?
Allah, we need a top 5.
Oh,
Allah.
we need a top 5 real quick.
Well, top 5 Rumble winners since the Rumble is on the 27th. Oh, we're gonna have a pod before then, so that could be for next week.
Okay. Yeah, I need to study for that one. What are we doing this week?
Rumble. What's Rumble?
Oh my.
Even I know what that is. Don't be ignorant.
Wrestling.
Yes.
Royal Rumble.
Ooh, no. I was gonna say top 5 owners we need to get fired, but we could put Dolan in that one.
Oh wow.
Dolan.
I was gonna say all Knicks fans are happy as hell that this came out. You want him to sell that team so bad now?
I want the Rangers sold. I don't even watch hockey. I want it all sold.
Can't think of a good.
Let's do top. Well, since CJ Stroud had a great performance and Love had a great performance, let's do top QB performances in the playoffs.
Ever?
That you've seen in your lifetime. Because I remember.
We need one for today. I don't have time for research.
You can't get that? Kaepernick against the Packers that year.
Nah.
11 years ago. When he ran for like 80 yards on them. Remember?
That was a
big
good one.
run.
That was a good one.
Like he dominated that game.
That was luck. It's just luck.
Hate.
Um,
Flacco had one game against the
Broncos.
That overtime game.
How they let dude behind them, I don't know, but
Jacoby.
That was strong.
yeah.
That was his highlight. Jacoby
It was
Jones.
that,
He
that whole
terrible.
year. That whole year was.
And
his
he had
highlight.
like a kick return too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, it was a
Oh
huge
yeah,
year.
was it Jacoby Jones that had that kickoff return in the Super Bowl?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
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 So we don't just have to do
Strong.
quarterback. Just do like top NFL performances in the playoffs.
Okay, I can figure that out
Because we could
before we get to the
definitely get like just random people that we just went off in the playoffs.
Yeah, I can get that by the time the end of the show comes.
I'm just gonna pick random players.
Oh, you should pick Tyreek Hill. Oh, he didn't have a good game.
I know you ain't talk. What?
Whoa.
The Jets
whoa,
weren't even
whoa.
in
Here we go.
contention.
Here we go. Don't talk about that. Don't let me get my hate off. All right.
All right.
Would you rather make the playoffs and lose first round, or not make the playoffs at all?
This is the age-old question.
That's what I want to know, though. That's a very
all right, we'll talk about that on the show.
important thing.
All right, that'll be sort of the question of the day.
That
We'll
is
talk about
important, right?
Yeah, it's important. We'll talk about that on the show. Let's do it.
All right, let's get it going.
Our dynamic trio of sports enthusiasts and longtime friends bring you the latest sports news, heated debates, and offbeat stories from the wide world of sports. Whether you're a diehard fan or just enjoy a good laugh, we've got you covered. Are your balls out?
Suck it, jabroni.
Hey, are you ready? Are you done fucking around?
Hey, yo.
I do not have peanut butter on my list here.
Oh my goodness. That's ridiculous.
You're listening to the Balls Out Sports Podcast. Here are your hosts, Ala, Crispy, and Jonas Mount.
Brother. That was from my man Hogan.
All right, everybody, welcome into the Balls Out Sports Podcast. You heard the man. Allah's to my left. Crispy joining us from Greenville, South Carolina. Crispy, what's happening?
What's up, family?
Ooh, very excited tonight. I am Jonas Mount. We got a lot to get to. First, let me start by saying I'm on vacation. It's been a great few days. I still have 6 more days of vacation before I have to go back to the job. So I'm super excited. I'm super pumped about this show. I'm super pumped about the NFL playoffs. I'm excited about the fact that the NBA trade deadline is right around the corner. There's all kinds of stuff happening right now. My team is the best team in hockey. Like, there's just all kinds of good things happening to me in my life right now. So
I thought the Rangers were the best team.
no, they're not the best team in hockey. My
They
team's the
are.
best team.
They are.
Who?
The Rangers.
No, they're not. You better check your stats.
You're a hater.
No,
Well,
I'm not a hater.
okay.
I know.
Remember what happened last time you talked about your team? Remember when you were talking about how good the Hawks were?
Ooh.
I it definitely didn't happen this year because the Hawks haven't been anything this year.
Trey
Oh,
Young.
it was early.
Trae
It was very
Young.
early that you brought it up, and then that's when you guys started sliding. So
I'm pretty sure that I realize most people that maybe not know this don't realize that you are extremely superstitious, but I seriously doubt that anything that I say is going to change the outcome of my teams moving
It
forward.
might.
So
Okay.
it will not.
All right, I'm just saying.
We will
I'll
talk
go find-
NBA.
I'll go
Do what?
I'll go find it.
Okay, you do that. We'll talk NBA.
Episode 7.
Whatever. NBA trade deadline, we'll be talking about that. Of course, that's coming up first week of February, but we've already gotten some action, and I'm scratching my head about this one, but I suppose I'd be scratching my head considering this gentleman was traded anyway, because from everything I understand, he's not planning on staying to whatever team he gets traded to, but we will get into that. We'll talk about NFL playoff results, what went down in Super Wildcard Weekend, some surprises maybe, and more than anything else, when it comes to Wild Card Weekend, typically, and last year was not so great either, but typically Wild Card Weekend is oftentimes the most exciting weekend of the NFL playoffs. Usually the games are really good, and this year, not really. I mean, was I watching? Of course I was watching, but I remember at the end of this going, there wasn't really any great parity here. Like there was one game.
It was one game.
There was one game.
One game.
There was
only.
one game
And it
out
was
of the
the
6
game I
that were
told you was
played.
gonna be the better
right.
one, too.
It was the one game out of the 6 that was played that was good. The rest of them were very, very one-sided. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll dive back into the NBA and conversation. I mentioned NBA and hockey, and I didn't even really mean to do that, but there is one particular story that we'll dive into.
Yeah.
You're particularly interested in. You, the one who sent that into
it.
You have a lot to say about that, especially about this particular individual. A flurry of head coaching interviews have gone on so far in the last week. Who's going to fill what vacancy first? Who knows? Mike Tomlin for the Pittsburgh Steelers says he'll be back.
I wore these colors for them.
But will he be back? That's the question. Is he going to be back for his 18th season, or is it time for him to move on? Who knows? We'll see.
I hate when you do that, man.
Still made the playoff.
They did.
Never losing record.
Yep. No, I mean, the guy's been unbelievable. 17 seasons. He's never had a losing record.
And then they make
had trash at quarterback since Roethlisberger left.
Then they make up the narratives like, oh yeah, we made the playoffs, but he couldn't do anything else. Like, look at the teams y'all handle.
I mean, understood. But it always depends, and a lot of the times we don't know how much say, and it depends, and it's team by team, like how much say that the head coach has in personnel. Right? We don't know, and I don't know definitively how much he has or he doesn't, and that's oftentimes not something that we definitively find out about. We'll hear pundits say, you know, well, I mean, I think he's got more to say than somebody, but nobody really knows. It's like they almost keep that a secret, and it's almost in an effort to try to, hey, Christian, I know it's your first day, but I'll need you. So, you know, we'll talk about Mike Tomlin. We'll talk about the Eagles. Speaking of the team, the other team in the state of Pennsylvania, there's been a lot of talk about whether or not the Eagles should fire Sirianni. Did he lose the locker room? He got a popcorn bin dumped. He certainly did. He certainly did. And we'll also preview, of course, the divisional round coming up. Some interesting games. Might be more difficult to pick these games than they were this past weekend. Speaking of games that we picked, Ala, do you remember who you picked to win or not? Like, do you remember the games? The 6 games, you remember who you picked?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
I picked the Lions.
Congratulations. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
And the Texans.
You did.
Yeah, that's my Super Bowl pick.
Lions, Texans?
Yep.
Oh, you're just going to say that now?
It's going to be terrible for the league, but I want it.
Oh, my goodness. It'll probably end up being the best game of the
Probably.
postseason. So we'll get into that a little bit, too. But I first want to start with the NBA.
Yes. Oh, we going into my topic or no?
No.
Oh,
I wanted to go into the other topic first.
Damn. Oh, you talking about Pascal?
Yeah, Pascal gets traded from the Toronto Raptors to
French?
the Indiana Pacers.
Is he French?
I don't know.
I like Pascal.
It's definitely a French name.
Or he's Spanish.
Is he? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't either.
He dark.
He is dark.
AF.
Doesn't mean anything.
What? That he dark?
That he could be from any one of those places and be dark.
He darker than the motherfucker too.
It's fair. I just feel Friday references coming on.
Yep.
So pronounce the last name. Is it Siakam?
Siakam.
Is it Siakam?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
That's what I heard on TV.
Okay. All right.
Blame the mothership if that's the case.
Siakam.
Siakam.
Pascal Siakam gets traded to the Indiana Pacers. Pacers, I believe, if memory serves me correctly, are sitting about 6th right now in the Eastern Conference. About 4 or 5 games above 500. I think they're like 23 and 16, 23 and 18, something like that. Mm-hmm. Good team. They've had some good games this year, and I just find the trade interesting because the Pacers gave up quite a bit to get him, which was expected. Gave up a couple of first round picks, right? I think one next year, but then one future.
3.
Yeah, is it 3? Players involved in the trade as well, but Siakam. Rock'em sock'em. I don't know. I don't know. But the talk about the trade for him, regardless of who the team was, because there was a period of time, both last year and early this year, that the Hawks, in fact, were one of the few teams that were in trade talks, right?
The Knicks too?
The what?
The Knicks was in the running for Siakam and the Clippers, of course.
So there was a lot of talk around this, but the one piece around this was that whoever traded for him, it was very likely that he was not going to play for said team next season.
It's a free agent. That's what you got the option to do.
Well, true. And it doesn't mean that he won't play for the Pacers next year. And it doesn't mean that he won't sign a contract extension. But the wording was, if I get traded to a team, I'm not going to sign the extension with them right away. And you do, because you do see that from time to time. Guys get traded and then they just go, this is where I want to be, so let's just go ahead and roll out a contract. Let's get it done now. So he has said openly that he's not going to do that. He is going to test free agency. He'll give everybody a look. He's due $38 million this season. Sheesh. And you wonder, did it make sense for Indiana to do it? I suppose it makes sense for anyone to do it. He's a very good player. He's averaged almost 23 points a game this year. He's consistently good across the board. But how much better does he make Indiana at this point right now? Are they now a contender?
They didn't give up much to get. Well, not much in the sense of the draft picks.
Right.
Players. Bruce Brown's a good player.
Mm-hmm.
Solid defender. Got a ring last year with Denver, but he's nowhere near what Siakam brings to the table. Handles the ball. He doesn't really shoot very well, but boards, defense, all NBA, two-time all NBA player. So Siakam is and he's only what, like 6'8", 6'9", so he's not like short, but he's not tall. Like, he's like that hybrid in between.
Yeah,
and he could guard like multiple positions. So he's a really, really solid player.
Long reach.
I just don't. I don't think they gave up much, because when you look at the picks, what is picks? You never know who's going to be what. Joker,
especially
got
in the
whatever.
NBA.
Yeah, you get somebody good in the second round, last pick of the draft, right? Or undrafted guy comes in and lights it up. So I mean, you can't project forward.
Indiana also feels very confident that it's not going to be a lottery pick, right? So they're like, the heck with it. Here's our picks, take them.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think it was a good trade for them, but
he's an all-around baller. I mean, he can score, he can get to the rim, great defender,
defend,
athletic. He could play all 48 minutes if you need him to. He's a really good basketball player. Really good player.
I wish we got him instead of OG, but they like very similar players.
Yeah.
Him and OG.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and OG's
I think OG's got a little bit more.
And
size
OG is
on
younger
him.
too.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think OG's got a little size on him too, though.
Bulky wise, right? Yes.
Yeah. I think he's going to weigh 10, 15 more pounds, maybe. But that's what I would like to see. How do you say his name?
Siakam.
I'd like to see him get a couple more pounds on him, but
I just don't know if
I like him.
I just don't know if he's going to at this point, because he's not a young man either. It's not like he just, he's 29.
29.
Yeah. I think
he got a chip.
I think he's where he is, right? I think I think this is the guy that you're going to get, and it's no wonder he was so highly coveted, because he can play every position, right? He really can. He can ball. He's got handles. He can defend, and you just don't get enough of those wing defenders anymore, right? Guys that can literally like help you defensively, and I speak from personal experience when it comes to my team. They've been searching for a legitimate wing defender for years. They drafted a couple guys who can't stay healthy.
I thought that's what John Collins was supposed to be for y'all, but so
no, he decided he wanted to turn into a 3-point shooter and not play any defense. So that's pretty much why he's.
It's one of the problems with the NBA today.
Yeah.
One, like you said, they don't put no weight on. They don't put no muscle on. Right? Look, they're getting thinner and thinner.
Yep.
Wimby,
thinner and taller.
Bobo.
Yep.
All of them are thin.
Yep.
Chet. All of them are thin.
Yes.
Like, put some weight on.
Almost.
And then two, they don't. Everybody's shooting.
Right.
Why?
Chet actually looks unhealthy, like comparatively speaking. Wemby doesn't look unhealthy.
He looked like he gonna break something when he goes to the basket. Like I just the Paul George, and I know he landed weird, but like the cracking of your leg, it looks like when they land, when Wemby does his Euro steps or his like long stride, I just think something's gonna snap.
Yeah.
And it doesn't.
I mean, he can Euro step from the 3-point line and still get there without traveling. Like, it's ridiculous.
With one dribble
from the 3-point line.
Well, they showed one highlight. He had gotten the rebound underneath the rim in full strides, 7 full strides to the other rim.
With 2 dribbles, probably, right? One,
probably
2 pickup.
Hey, I just saw some more of the trade deal. The Raptors get 3 first-round picks, 2 of them this year and 1 next year.
They
get 2 first rounds this year.
Oh, wow.
But
2024.
Their problem is going to be the fact that, 1, it's a whole rebuild out there. 2, they got young players, so they got to re-up with quickly because of the Knicks trade, right? That's one of the reasons the Knicks moved on from him.
Yeah.
Because he wants like $40 million to be a backup / Tyrese Maxey kind of player. And then you got Scotty Barnes hasn't panned out yet. And you got rid of Van Fleet. You let him leave. You let Kawhi leave for nothing, kind of, sort of. You don't let Kawhi leave. Kawhi's back, by the way.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is balling now. It is funny to see how they've gone from that championship to a team that's just kind of slowly but surely people just been picking at the bones, right? Just taking the last,
taking everything.
Taking everything, man. They're not leaving them much of anything at this point. But and the difficulty with that is that it's still Toronto, and I know that they're passionate about their basketball out there. They really do. They show up, right? And they do a great job of that, considering it's Toronto and it's the Maple Leafs and it's Hockey Town, right? Like, considering that, they still.
That's why the Grizzlies left.
Yeah, but they still have this great supporting fan base, but it's still Toronto. So even though the fan base comes, it's like, who wants to go to Toronto and play basketball, right?
That's why Vince left.
You know, I don't know, man. I don't know. Once you got rid of those guys, it's going to take them quite some time, I think, to get back to any level of prominence, right? I mean, to be able to bring really, really good players in there, unless they do it all through the draft, they get lucky. They take the opportunity, and they've got the draft picks now to do it. You know, they're going to have to draft well, because then they're not going to get free agents, top-notch free agents to go to Toronto by comparison to the rest of the league.
No,
to your big market teams.
It's not even there's not even really anybody on the free agent market that would be worth throwing $35 million at to try to come there. Like who's a free agent next year, really?
I don't even know.
Other than
KD?
Siakam. Well, KD bounces everywhere. He might go there.
He might. You never know. Yeah, I mean, if they offer
might.
him enough money, who knows?
Right. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird time in the NBA.
It is. I mean, a KD would be the type of guy that could go there if he got himself a chip this year, right? But not that he doesn't already have one, but if he got another one and Toronto goes, hey, come finish your career here. We're gonna build this whole thing around you. We're gonna make you, this guy in Toronto. Is that really somewhere that he wants to go though? Like how much money could they honestly throw at him to make him want to come there? I just don't see it.
I don't know. I don't know.
Probably gonna go to South Beach.
But then he went to Phoenix, and it's not like Phoenix is not LA. It's not Miami. It's not New York, right? And Phoenix is a good basketball town.
That's all they got out there.
But it's not those other cities, right? It's not those other markets.
Great golf courses.
Great golf courses. Not that I've ever played any of them, but they do look beautiful. So, which is why we got to get out there. We know somebody in that area. We got to go. All right. So, an interesting trade. I'm curious to see. I'm more than anything else, just curious to see how much better this makes the Pacers. This is a good basketball team this year. I've seen some of their games. They're sixth in the Eastern Conference right now. Does this push them into the top four? Are they going to host a playoff series if they get into that situation? And that's probably what they want. And I believe that they gave up enough bringing Siakam in here to contend. And I think that there's a legitimate shot at them doing that. I mean, health is obviously going to play a factor, but I think that with Siakam, if he gets acclimated to this team and the chemistry builds quickly, they could be contenders in the East. I think that's a legitimate possibility. I don't know if they're going to overtake the likes of
the Knicks,
of Milwaukee.
The Knicks.
Milwaukee.
Just ignore us.
Well, where are you guys sitting right now?
Huh?
Are you 4?
Celtics.
Yeah, man. Right. Say the Celtics at least.
Celtics, yeah.
Undefeated at home, right?
No, the Knicks are 7 seed, Pacers 6, Heat 5, Cavs 4, Sixers 3, Bucks 2, Celtics 1.
Celtics 1. Okay, yeah. Speaking of which, Embiid just
Hawks
went
11.
off.
I seen that game last
Embiid
night.
went off.
He said.
He said
Joker's coming in. I got to do something.
Yeah.
And then he just come back too.
Yeah.
Like he missed a couple games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like Tyrese Maxey. I'm a basketball fan.
Yeah,
so
he's
I
balling
really
out.
I think it was worth getting rid of Harden to let Maxey get more playing time. And Maxey is, I don't know. He came out of nowhere, like
maximizing his full point.
He can handle.
Yeah.
He shoots from everywhere.
Yeah.
He's a good defender, like for his position.
High energy.
Yeah.
Real high energy.
Yeah, he plays well with Embiid. Like he plays well with the second unit. I don't know. I like Tyrese Maxey. I think he should be an all-star.
He's just a baller. He's out there. He's like, let me do my thing.
Yep. And he's been given the opportunity to do so, and he's taking advantage of it at this point. I'm curious to see where a lot of these teams land with with the trade deadline coming up in the first week of February. I am very curious from a personal perspective what on God's green earth the Hawks are going to do. Like, I have no idea. Like, I'm at this point right now where I'm like, just blow it up. Blow it up. Just get rid of it. Just
what do you have there though,
other
than Trey? What else is there?
Yeah.
But the other Bogdanovic, that's how you spell. I don't know how to pronounce
Bogdanovic.
The other one, the younger one, right?
Yeah.
He's there.
Yeah.
What's the other big kid, the young kid that you got? Hunter?
Jalen Johnson. Or are you talking Okongwu?
Hunter?
Oh, Hunter? Yeah, who can't stay healthy. He was the wing defender we drafted out of Virginia, I think it was.
Herder?
Oh,
That's the shooter.
Herder's not there anymore.
He's going to?
Yeah, he's gone.
Oh, yeah,
he's been gone since last year. I think he's with Kings now, I think.
Yeah, y'all trash. Gonna blow it up.
There's a part of me that says let's build around Murray, but Murray was supposed to come in. DeJounte was supposed to come in and be a defender, and he hasn't defended at all. They're giving up more points than they've ever given up.
Who said he was a defender? I didn't get the Trey and him pairing at all.
Yeah, no.
I didn't understand it. They're two slender, small guards, and you were gonna
I don't know, man.
That play. They need the ball in their hands a lot. Like I didn't think it was gonna work, and it doesn't. I seen a report that Trey's probably gonna go to the Spurs.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll happen or not.
That'd be a good.
I'd be okay with that.
Though.
I'd be okay with that.
That's a good pairing.
I'd be okay with that. Let him go. Let it be DeJounte Murray. Let it be Jalen Johnson, who I love. That kid is so nice. And you've got a Okongwu. Those are your three guys, and then everybody else is expendable.
And Capella. That's your center, right?
Yeah, he's got to go.
Yeah, I'll take him. You want Julius Randle?
It's time. It's time for him. Sure, I'll take Julius now.
Take Julius Randle and give me Clint Capella. I need another rim protector because Julius Randle is just a douche.
He's been balling, though. He's been playing good ball lately.
I'm not saying he can't ball.
Yeah.
He's so inconsistent.
But this year, the consistency has been there.
It's not when I mean inconsistent, it's not numbers wise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean effort wise.
Hustle.
He's always like you'll see clips. Just Google Julius Randle not getting back on defense.
Just Google that. Julius Randle not getting
back. Hey, every time I watch a Knicks game, he goes off.
That's points and boards, but I'm talking like effort plays on defense.
James Harden's going to get in the Hall of Fame from not playing defense.
Well, you can't do that as a big man, though. It's a difference.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm looking at this Hawks team here, and I'm being funny, but not really. But I mean, I know like three of your players. So when we say blow it up,
that's what I was saying.
Trey. You mean get rid of Trey so you get some good.
I mean, okay, all right. Just everybody, calm down. We're not the Heat. We're not the Knicks. We don't have a bunch of like players that everybody knows about. Or anything else.
I got picks. Who wants some of these picks? I trade whatever. Deuce McBride looks like he's coming on.
But I mean, when people do discuss blowing it up, it's getting rid of your best players and just starting over again.
Yeah.
And that's Trey. Let's get rid of Trey.
So
I'm fine with that.
Keep Murray. Keep the Jalen Johnson kid.
Keep
Capella.
Nah, I'm good. Capella can go. Okongwu's the guy now.
Okay.
I don't care.
It says you have DeAndre Hunter.
That's who I'm talking about. That's the Hunter kid.
Yeah.
Can't stay healthy.
AJ Griffin.
Always hurt.
Always hurt. Hunter has not been able to
stay
stay
healthy. He's a good defender.
Yes, he is.
When he's on the court.
When he's playing. Yes.
Give me the Bogdanovich
I mean, you'll get some value out of Trey. Somebody's going to take him, overpay him, and be like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's time. I really do. He doesn't vibe with what they brought Quinn Snyder in there to help them be a better defensive team. Now, obviously, they don't have the players around it yet, so I think it's going to take a little bit of time to build more of a defensive-minded team. But in an effort to do that, in order to do that, you have to get rid of Trey. Because he's such a liability on defense that if other people have to help him,
defense, right?
If other players have to help defensively, then he's a liability. He's got to go.
I'm with you. I told you
he's
he's a good player offensively. They say CP3 was a liability and Steph is a liability. Trey is a liability on defensive end.
He's worse than those guys.
He gets caught up in the pick and rolls. Yeah. He can't fight through screens.
He's just too damn small. He's just too small. It's not even his fault.
That's it.
I mean, he's just a small guy. He shoots lights out. He's gotten back on a roll now, too, which the timing for this couldn't be worse if you're a Hawks fan that wants to see him go. Because remember, he was in a slump to start the season. Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden now he's starting to get hot and he's averaging like 30 a game in the last 10 games he's played. So now that makes the decision that much more difficult to happen. So I don't know. I just want to see something different happen because it's the same old. You know, when you keep trying it's the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And they continue to try to build around and add pieces to the Trey puzzle, and it's getting worse. Yep. They're regressing every year. They're actually getting worse than they are getting better since they went to the Eastern Conference.
What's the constant?
Trey. Yeah.
Trey's the constant, and we're in the same boat, so it's time to go.
Yep.
Wasn't McMillan your coach before you bought Snyder? I don't understand why you got rid of him because they were playing really well under Nate McMillan.
Trey and McMillan problem. That's what it was. And there's the other constant.
He's cost y'all a couple of coaches, in my opinion.
After McMillan left, he was labeled a coach killer. That's what he was labeled.
You don't need that in the NBA. When you get that label, that's bad.
Yep. And
Who else got that label?
I was gonna say something, but I'm not.
Well, James Harden had that label, didn't he?
Oh
Yeah,
no, that's the
exactly.
#1 coach killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc is
And-
doing games again.
Yeah,
because
he
of
is.
him.
Yeah, he is. Doc's a great coach. Dude.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All right, so switching gears, let's talk NFL playoff results. By the way, before you got in, I didn't realize this because we were talking about this in our pregame. I thought I had the worst record from Super Wildcard Weekend when it came to wins losses. When we did our picks.
Right picks?
Yeah.
Oh no, it was him.
I didn't realize how bad he said it. Crispy, how many did you? How many games did you get right?
Let me count them.
1.
0.
Literally a goose egg. I did not have a clue. I did not realize that. He was telling me this before
Yeah.
you got here. He's like, "Yeah, I picked this one." I said, "I got all 6 wrong." I was like, "Wait, what?" I went 500, and I thought I was the worst.
So I mean, hold
I don't
on.
know what the rest
I
of your
think I
picks
had
were.
the best.
Well, if you picked the Texans, you probably had the
I
best.
did pick the Texans.
You picked the Texans, and you picked the Chiefs.
I picked the Lions.
Well, I'm gonna go.
No, I
down
took
this.
the Dolphins. I took the Dolphins.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So you got the Texans, you got the Lions. Who'd you take? Cowboys,
Damn, I
Packers. You
the
took Cowboys, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
You Bills,
And
Steelers.
Damn, I took the Eagles too.
Bills, Steelers.
Oh, come on now.
You picked the Bills.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you
I
and
was
I
the
were
only
same.
one that took the Steelers.
You and I were both 500. We just picked them differently.
Oh yeah, he did pick the Steelers.
He had to have.
Damn.
Now, I picked the Browns, which I lost, but I picked the Chiefs. I picked the Cowboys, which I lost. I picked the Rams, which I lost, but then I picked the Bills and I picked the Bucks. I was the only one that took the Bucks.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
You and all of the mothership
Still
crew.
crazy.
Did they all take the
I
Bucks?
was watching the preview and I was like, God damn, everybody's taking a shit.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I didn't watch any of the I don't watch
Ric
them,
Flair
so.
took the damn Bucks because he was at the game.
Ric Flair.
He was at him and RG3 and the little,
Yeah.
you know, they little sideline reporter chick.
yeah.
They was like, we found Ric Flair.
He's probably drunk as hell.
Randomly
Too.
there.
Probably
Oh,
drunk
woo!
as hell, boy. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
That dude sauced
He
all
wanted
the
to
time.
take his shirt off so bad.
I'm
and
sure he
ESPN
did.
was like, "No, dog.
Nah, we can't
Keep
have
that
that.
shirt
He wanted to.
Yeah.
Keep that shirt on."
Yeah, he ain't do it.
So let's talk about a couple of these games really quickly because, again, kudos to those who picked the Texans, and it was an unbelievable performance on their part. I think what was interesting though is that it's the fact that Texans won. Cool, they won the game. I mean, all right, I wouldn't have been shocked if they had won, right? Mm-hmm. Which they did, but I'm saying but the fashion, the way it went down. Now, I know that there was a disparity between the Browns, at home versus away when it came to, because I saw some of that pregame, like how many yards they give up, how many points they give up, but not to the magnitude in which they did. Now, granted, 2 of the touchdowns were pick sixes, right? But the Texans scoring 20, I think they scored 28 on offense, and then 2 pick sixes. And
that secondary got torched.
Well, here's the thing too, is once they got ahead, they pinned their ears back defensively and just kept coming at Flacco. They were sending everybody every down.
Flacco was more mobile than I thought he would have been.
He was running for his life.
He ran for a couple first downs.
Yeah.
I mean, it took a long time to run.
It did.
Yeah, he was on the move.
Yeah, I was. I think I was just so shocked by the score. Again, Texans winning, fine. Texans win by a touchdown, 10 points, great. But my God,
that's how I felt about the Cowboys game.
It was just an absolute annihilation. I will say this, prior to the game, the day or two leading up to the game, CJ Stroud came out and was like, "You want to doubt us? That's fine." And I think a lot of people were. And I think one of the issues that I had was the fact that they didn't have Tank Dell there, right? And this he's been such a huge weapon for them all year long. The question was going to be, how do they, how do they overcome that loss? How do they get the ball, to other players? How do they change the way they think about how they attack? I mean, Singletary had a career game.
It's a guy named Nico Collins.
Nico
showed up
Collins,
2 games straight.
dude. Nico Collins was huge.
catches.
Yeah, and I mean, Collins was playing well even when Tank Dell was there. He was still getting his He was still getting his fair share. I mean, Tank was getting the lion's share of the receptions, right, because of his ability to get behind the defense. But Nico wasn't it wasn't like he wasn't there this season. It was just he taking that taking that to the next level. And Singletary on the ground, I think that was another key for them as well, is they really kept Cleveland's defense on their heels. It was, we know that we can throw the ball around. We know that C.J. Stroud is mobile. We know that he can throw on the run. But Singletary doing what he did on the ground, I think really kind of threw off what Cleveland was trying to do, because they're not a run-first football team.
No, it looked like they did some different stuff. Like they moved the tight end kid.
Mm-hmm.
The other tight end who had the 70-yard screen pass that he took to the house. Like they moved.
Yeah, he fast.
They moved like it was a play action / screen in the same realm of things. It was kind of a reverse, that play to him. I don't know. And C.J. Stroud was just bombing away.
Yeah.
Very accurate in his bombs because his people were open, but just bombing away.
I mean, just doing a great job all night long, just moving and just
he doesn't
throwing
look like
down.
a rookie to me.
I mean, my God, man.
MVP.
They did a really good job holding down Amari Cooper. I mean, Cooper had 4 or 5 catches, 50, 60 yards maybe. He wasn't even a factor in that game.
Yeah.
I tweeted
best player on the field for them.
MVP.
And Njoku still had a solid game at the tight end position. Yeah, it was right about, I think it was 98 yards or something like that that he had. So, he was the one bright spot for them. But defensively, for Cleveland, the team that they were all season long, I mean, they got exposed. They absolutely got exposed. Again, I know they're not as good on the road as they are at home, but that was bad.
Nah, it was really bad.
Yeah, that was really bad. Dolphins Chiefs. This was going to be this is going to be tough sledding for the Dolphins, right? I mean, going into Kansas City with the weather the way it was, I mean, it was good early, right? It was the Chiefs go up 10-0. Tyreek gets the touchdown. It's 10-7 if memory serves me correctly. And at this point, I'm like, okay, all right, we got a little bit of a game in our hands right now. They can continue to get to Tyreek, get in the ball in open space, let him do his thing. This might be a competitive game, and then
the wheels fell off.
Game over. Now I don't know. In fact, I do know. I know that the Dolphins were obviously up against it for a multitude of reasons, right? We know that they were on the road, they're playing in weather they're not accustomed to, but then all the injuries, right? And that you can't escape that. That's a foregone conclusion. We knew that they were going to be struggling on both sides of the ball because the number of injuries that they have. But I think the thing that still leaves me scratching my head a little bit, and Crispy, I'll ask you this question as well, is and as a Dolphins fan, I don't know how it's going to be answering this question, but we got what we thought we were going to get from the Dolphins in this game. But I don't know that we know anything more about the Chiefs as a result. I guess that's my question is I don't know, even though the Chiefs kind of walked away and took this game handily there towards the end, do we really know anything more about the Chiefs now than we did before the playoffs even started?
No, I think they had a great matchup against us first round. I would be really surprised if they're able to go to Buffalo and win this week. I just don't think they have enough weapons. Their defense is okay. I don't know. I think Buffalo is definitely going to be a better showing and actually show us how good Kansas City actually is.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, the defense is what kept Kansas City in a lot of games this year. Mm-hmm. The reason why Kansas City ultimately ended up being able to win in double-digit games.
Mahomes had a pedestrian year.
Mm-hmm. By his standards, yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have any pieces there. So, but Rice had a really good game, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, those temperatures, it's got to stop. The snow in Buffalo, right? We see they pushed the game back.
Yep.
The temperatures in Kansas City, I don't care if you have a heated field underneath. That's not safe to play on. I've played in cold games, be it not as on that level.
Right.
If it's cold, it hurts when you get. We seen the helmet get broke. Your star quarterback helmet gets broke, and you can't. That's not okay. That's not safe for those players. I
just saw something come across not too long ago. 12 to 15 people from that game had to get admitted to the hospital for hypothermia.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I wonder if any of those people were the ones that they would pan to in the crowd occasionally with no shirts on. I mean, I'm just saying, right? I mean,
Yeah, I'm sure they were.
There's a few of those people
Or
out
the
there.
ones in Buffalo that were shoveling snow, riding down there with no shirt
Sure.
on, like down the little slow shoot, right? Yeah,
right.
just stupid.
Well, yeah, those dumbasses, they deserve what they're getting.
Yeah, nah, that weather is just bad. You can't play them. That floor was hard. I know it was hard.
So do these teams need to go to go in the direction that the Lions and the Vikings have gone, where they've got to have indoor?
Absolutely. No. And I'm not saying you have to keep the dome closed all the time. At least have like a retractable version to where you can sunlight part area, something like that. But like you have to have something. First of all, if I spend that much money on these tickets, I don't want to have to go sit in frigid temperatures like that. It's not Lambeau Field. I don't want to sit there.
Right. Because Lambeau's never going to change. You know that.
Okay, they cheap. They're not going to pay for it.
Well,
first
they're
of all,
old by the city.
They're
Like,
not going to pay for it.
The fans own it.
So
right.
I mean, even there though, like we seen Confident's face that year, where
Right.
his face was the color of these cups.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just not safe, and it's not. I wouldn't want to go to a game like that, me personally. So
Yeah, I think that's why we won't, because that is like Kansas City true home field advantage in that scenario, right? They live in it. They get used to that cold. The fans are used to it. That is a true home field advantage. Buffalo, true home field advantage. Granted, Kansas City's used to the cold as well, but maybe not those winds that they're going to have in Buffalo, right? So I think there's going to be like the reasoning why they won't is because of that home field advantage. I mean, Dolphins, we can't play in anything less than 60 degrees. So, we'll always have to struggle with that. But if we beat Buffalo at home and we get to sit at home in the 70 degrees versus having to go and play in minus 27 degrees, that was our own fault. But I think some of these teams, Kansas City, Buffalo's, the Green Bay Packers, all those outdoor cold, I don't see why they would change to domes.
they still lose.
They're going to take away the home field advantage that they have with it.
Yeah, I mean, I know that home field, obviously some of it is weather related, right? But we also know that home field advantage also is obviously has the crowd has a huge part in that as well. The fact
They still had a good show out with all them cold.
Sure.
Even with it was still cold, they still had a good show out.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Minnesota at home when they under in that dome, I mean, that place is insane, right? I mean, like that's actually on my bucket list to go. I want to be there when they do the whole
I want the
I
sound.
want there. Yeah, I want there for that. Yeah, I want to
hear that.
Yeah.
Like
And Detroit had a great showing in this playoff game as well against the Rams.
it was cold up there too.
I don't particularly care for the way they treated Matt Stafford, but hey, you know what? It is what it is, right?
He was very classy at this podium as well.
Oh yeah,
he didn't take no shots.
No.
He said, "Yo, this is their time."
Yep.
They had a mic when he walked up to Goff, and he was like, "Yo, go win it."
Yep.
Like that was really classy. Stafford moved up my list as like quarterbacks that you like.
Yeah, I think that one of the comments
He had a small jab.
it was a little one. I was just about to say
Yeah.
it. It was a little one.
ahead.
It was subtle, very
that?
very subtle. When I can't remember exactly how the question was posed, but it was something along the lines of.
Towards the fence. I remember.
And he was like, "I'm happy for the players."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
A little.
How do you
said you're
something
gonna
like, how do
kick
you
everybody
feel
out
about
the
playoff
stadium?
win since 1991 or something like that?
You said you're gonna
He's like,
kick.
I'm happy for the players.
You're not gonna let nobody in if they got my jersey on. So yes, absolutely.
Right.
Like I get that part, but
Yeah.
that's just
But it's a fair jab.
That's a little
just a little something.
little one.
Little needle.
But he was really classy
He
still.
was. Yeah.
So, I mean-
I've always been a huge Matt Stafford fan. He's been unbelievable. And that was a great game. Like that was a fantastic football
Puka
game.
Nakua.
I mean, where did this kid come from,
Have
man?
not
Like
a goddamn clue.
he just steps into the limelight this year and just blows everybody's records out. I'm just done. Like, look at me.
Have
I'm
you
the
guys
greatest thing since
seen
sliced
the
bread.
HBO footage about that?
No.
Yeah, so they actually have footage of McVay and the GM when they were in their draft room, and they were talking about how they're about to pick them an all-star kind of player. He's really going to surprise people. Like
Did see that.
they talked about how good this kid was going to be, and they they were drafting him because they saw him being this good.
When they was waiting until he like fell to them, and they was like, no, he fits our scheme for our like the way we like to play, our speed, our tempo, our toughness. Because people was like, well, he didn't test well at the combine.
Right?
Like that's what I like to see.
Yeah.
Like those are the
fifth rounder.
Those are the things that make you excited.
You know, and that's one of the reasons why. I mean, yeah, Rams have done a pretty good job of bringing in personnel, man. Like they've had their hiccups and they started the year off slowly and they didn't end the year that well last year. But you know, they just do a good job, right? They do a good job of bringing in the right type of players that fit their system.
Yeah, just not Todd Gurley. Did my man dirty.
Mm-hmm.
I love Todd Gurley. You know, listen, they did Todd Gurley dirty.
I mean,
dirty.
It was a little dirty.
It was
especially
dirty.
when they were waiting to pay him after he'd already gotten to Atlanta. But also that was probably the one faux pas on their part because this is a guy that had been dealing with arthritis in his knees since even before he was in college.
Now that's different.
I'm
just not going to draft you at that point.
Right.
Or I'm going to take you 7th round.
Right. And then, you know, he didn't do him any favors either that Georgia had him running. I mean, he ran every down when he was at Georgia. So what are we doing? What's Jermaine talking about?
I don't know. He's listening to everything we're talking about.
Apparently.
Obviously. Yep. See, cold.
Why do we still play games in negative degree temps when there's where is just as detrimental to players as playing 90 degree temps?
Well, we also got to keep in mind, like, I think the reason they even shut down moved the Buffalo Pittsburgh is just the driving conditions for the fans.
Mm-hmm.
It's still messed up there. Like they had to push a scheduled like practice back with a walkthrough and all of that craziness because they couldn't get to the field. So I mean,
yeah,
I wasn't going to take $20 an hour to shovel no damn snow neither.
No. I mean, and a free ticket,
and they had to like scoot to their seats.
Right. That was wild. The footage was wild. I mean, let's not take anything away. Like, Jermaine also mentions to take nothing away from Puka, but he wouldn't have been as impactful in any other system. But that was to your point.
Yeah,
is that he fit their system?
Know what he was doing.
He ended up being there. I still think this kid would have been a good receiver. I don't know that he would have
fit a couple different systems.
I'm sure he could have. I'm sure that he probably may not have been the astronomical numbers that he put up this year, but I don't think there's any doubt that. I mean, if you get drafted. And he got drafted. It's for a reason. Even if you got drafted in the 5th round, that means you're good enough to play at the NFL level, and he probably still would have put up good numbers. He would have been a good pro, and he could have found himself in another system anyway. I mean, if he'd gone to Kansas City, that probably would have worked. I mean, there's a few places he probably could have gotten to that he would have fit in nicely.
Did he benefit from Cup being out as well?
Initially,
I mean, he was their one at that point.
Yeah. I mean, Cup comes back, and obviously they go with the hot hand, right?
Yeah,
and kudos to Cup as well because he never said anything, right?
Still had a good year, but I mean, he was nicked up.
Sure.
I mean, that's what happens when you're the focal point of an offense.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
They still don't have a tight end, really.
Yeah,
they need a tight end out there.
Yeah.
Jared Cook didn't pan out when he came.
No, I think they'll probably address that this year, and there's some pretty good ones that are going to be coming out of the draft as well. So,
because if one of them fall to 10,
yeah, oh man, stand by. Yeah, it's going to be wild.
Because if you fall to us,
speaking of, moving on. Actually, so not speaking of, but moving on. We talk Cowboys Packers. Cowboys in that game
massacre.
They. You know, I said this earlier as well. I think that they kind of went into this game thinking, you know what? We haven't lost at home all year. And they sleptwalked through that game, dude. Like they came out flat, like legitimately flat, and they got punched in the mouth and never recovered. And, you know, and there's a lot of storylines that go with the Dallas Cowboys, and that's typical, right? Because of their ownership, because of everything else, because of Dak Prescott, because of this, because of that. Is Dak the problem? He had a great year. Probably the best year he's had statistically since he's been a pro. He took the onus on himself at the end, saying, I played a terrible game. But I don't think it was all on him. I don't think that guys found themselves being open as much. I don't think that defensively they played very well. I think they took Green Bay for granted. I think they thought they were they were at home. They hadn't lost all year, so they just had to show up, and they were going to win this game. So therein lies the question that I have, and I'll pose to both of you. Crispy, I'll start with you. When we talk about Mike McCarthy, and right now, Jerry Jones is apparently mum on the subject matter and has not made any comments one way or the other whether or not McCarthy stays or goes. I think that if some of these other coaches are still available out there, that might sway Jerry Jones's decision to potentially keep or get rid of Mike McCarthy. But a lot of people, including Dallas Cowboys players and other pundits, are saying Mike McCarthy is not the problem. Mike McCarthy should not be fired. They've won 12 games a season for 3 straight years, but they have also been bounced embarrassingly in the first round all 3 of those years. And if you believe, and this is the question that I'll pose, if you believe that Dallas came out flat, they took Green Bay for granted and figured, hey, we're at home, we're going to make this thing happen, we're the better team. If that's the case, is that or is that not coaching?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm keeping McCarthy. This is kind of going, Ala just brought this up not too long ago. Would you prefer to win 12 games, make the playoffs, and lose all the time, or not get there and maybe just win the chip once kind of thing?
Oh, really quickly before you go on, that is my mistake. We should have actually posed that question because it is a great question. So that's sort of our question. We've got about a little under an hour to go. That is our question if anybody wants to answer that. Would you rather, make the playoffs and lose in the first round or not make the playoffs at all? Essentially is the question, correct?
Absolutely.
Right. Continue on, my bad. I just wanted to throw that out there. I totally forgot about that.
So I'm with this mindset of if I could be in the playoffs every year, I'm giving myself that chance. And Mike McCarthy has given the Cowboys a chance these last 3 years. Yeah, it stings to lose in that first round. But I mean, let's look at the Buffalo Bills these last few years. They've made the playoffs. They haven't gotten to the championship game. They keep losing to Kansas City, yet they still have McDermott, their head coach. They're still keeping him around. They're keeping the core coaches and players all together. So with Dallas, what are they missing? I think it all came down to the defense in that game. That defense did not look good. Green Bay was doing whatever they wanted. They had the running game going. Aaron Jones was doing what he wanted to do. Receivers were catching everything. Love looked like a fantastic quarterback. My son and I were talking about this. It's like, are you kidding me? How lucky can a franchise get? I mean, if you think about the last 50 years of football for the Green Bay Packers, they've had 4 quarterbacks: Bart Starr, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and now Jordan Love. I mean,
it's like the Steelers.
They know what they're doing. What's that?
It's like the Steelers with their coaches over the last half century.
Yeah,
it's the same
exactly.
thing, right?
They have that consistency. I mean, they're even showing these throws that, Love's doing that looks like an Aaron Rodgers. I mean, if you change the numbers, I mean, they're the same things. Like, how many times have we seen Aaron Rodgers floating in the air and throwing these 50-yard bombs kind of thing, right? Allah, you didn't get to see it last year because it was only 4 plays. But, he's got that.
I knew it was coming. I was waiting on it. I was waiting. And I also seen my quarterback for 2032. So I just saw him put up however many points on the Cowboys. So I'm with it.
But I mean, with the Cowboys, I'm trying to keep that together. I really am. I'm keeping McCarthy. I would be more concerned about Dan Quinn, whether or not he's going to stick around. Is he going to get another opportunity to be a head coach? He's been linked with Seattle, which is where he got started. Is there any chance that Atlanta brings him back, kind of thing? So, if I'm Dallas, I might be having to try to pay this guy to keep him around and see what we can do about finally winning this thing. But I think it was more the defensive side this year.
I'm going to go to you really quickly, but I'm going to say this really quickly. You mentioned Dan Quinn. Atlanta fans know exactly what Dallas fans are feeling.
That's what I was going to say.
Dude, the guy, it's
you don't play well in big games.
No, he can't coach well in big games.
That's it. That's what.
Yep.
Whatever he put forth, whatever they were running, the scheme they were running during the year, it just went away. I saw the breakdown. He played too much zone. They played man most of the year. They played uptight, on the line, jamming, giving Gilmore.
Haven't they had to change that since Diggs has been out?
They still played very aggressive. Yeah. I didn't see any blitzes.
It's almost like they played not to lose.
Yeah, it's like they played prevent all game, and they just kept getting ran past. Gilmore didn't have his head in. I don't know where he was looking.
Were they afraid of Love running on them? They didn't want to get over aggressive at the line of scrimmage. I mean, I did not want to send too many guys, and I don't know. They
let Aaron Jones run the ball down their damn throat. I know that much.
They didn't even have Dylan, which when I saw that he wasn't playing in that game, I was like, this could be a problem for the Packers if they don't have that 1-2 punch.
I saw
Did not matter.
Same.
Aaron Jones just lit it up, dude.
I got you.
Yeah. Aaron Jones showed us what he's been.
Legs.
Yeah. And you know, Aaron Jones hasn't been quite that guy. You know what I mean?
So,
like
he got paid and then got injured. So
and he showed us why he still should be regarded as one of the best, like, all around running backs in the game of football, because he has great hands, catches the ball out of the backfield, like he's got it all. But Dan Quinn is the problem, folks. I don't know that I would necessarily fire McCarthy either. I think it's a Dan Quinn problem. I think Dan Quinn just cost himself a head coaching job. If I'm being honest with you, I think he'll get fired as defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. I think that there's a very good possibility they're going to fire him. I think they should consider it, because if here's the point: if Jerry Jones and company feel like they have to do something, then Dan Quinn's the fall guy.
Why? When you can get rid of McCarthy and go get Belichick, or go get Harbaugh, or go get a spot. See, my problem with them is it's not the whole system. It's not the coordinators though. It's always who do they? Jerry, first of all, he should be the coach and the GM and the owner. Well,
he's
whatever
the GM.
Whatever he wants to be, because he doesn't let anybody do anything, right?
Right.
But
that's why Bill Belichick can't go there.
Again, as Jerry's age, doesn't he not just give up the reins? I'm not saying that part, right? Hey, you're old as well. I need a chip before we both croak. You want to come get that all wins record? Come on to Dallas, biggest mark, right? The America's team. We got a ready-made squad. We can add pieces. Come on here. I'm going to give you the keys. You do whatever you want to do. That's a match to me, at least. But the problem is, it's always whatever coach they have in front. They don't go defensive-minded coach. They always go offensive lately.
Oh,
remember before that, it was Jason Garrett's fault. And before that, it was this guy's fault. And it's always McCarthy didn't do anything different. Yeah, he got Dak to play a little bit more in line, get the ball out quicker. But that could have been just Dak saying, hey, I want to get the ball out quicker to cut down some of these interceptions.
Yeah.
Dak had a very well year. You thought Zeke was the problem. You got rid of Zeke. They had nothing. Pollard gave you nothing.
I was actually surprised by Pollard's, like, inefficiencies.
All year.
Yeah, all year
they
long.
need a big back? Are they missing a big back? Are they missing a counter to CD? You know, maybe get them another receiver. Oh, wow. I put a hand gesture up. Sweet.
And there was some problems with the CD situation. I saw just the same body language. I was talking about Randall, right? It's the same thing with CD. I don't know. Why did McCarthy have to say something to him on the sideline?
Right.
Is he not there mentally? Then that's not on Dak, because Dak was like, hey, I need you here, blah, 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 like animated, like a quarterback is normally. He just went into a shell. Yeah. It was all off. McCarthy doesn't have something there, and it's not Quinn. I mean, yeah, he played something completely different.
Yeah.
Should have just played.
I saw something where Bill wants to go to a team where he can develop the team.
How long he's going to be around?
That's that. I find that
Dallas
odd.
Yeah.
I know.
What did he
Dallas
develop?
is already developed. Like, this team is ready kind of piece. They just need to get over the hump kind of thing.
I mean, does he want to start over? I found that very odd. I was very curious about that. I read that very same thing, and I was like, what does that mean exactly? Because, of course, there could be more of context there. Does he want to develop a quarterback? Does he, you know what I mean? Like, or was he?
It sounds like Atlanta.
It sounds like Atlanta, and I think that's probably where he's going to end up.
It could be San
Bill
Diego.
likes to be the GM. He likes to make a lot of the calls, and if Arthur's willing to say, hey, you could be the GM and the coach, weren't you guys talked about maybe possibly moving on from the GM, or did you just get one?
We just got one. Terry Fontenot came over from the Saints a couple of years ago, and I like him, but and I'm not going to get into a lot of this because I don't want to turn this into a Falcons segment, but there have been conversations. So post season, where the head coach, the GM and the owner typically sit down and address the media.
Meetings, and all of that.
Terry Fontenot was nowhere to be found. Was not in the meeting. Was not at the presser, which a lot of people found interesting too.
He gone.
We found out in that presser that despite reports over the last few years to the contrary, Rich McKay is in fact handling all football operations on a day in and day out basis. So he's the COO. He is Arthur Blank's right-hand man, and he's handling football operations, which nobody thought was the case. And there have been a few things that I've read that have said that if Falcons fans want Rich McKay out of the situation, if they want him out of the way and to stop making football operations decisions, then hiring Bill Belichick might actually be a wise move. They've already met, they've already interviewed, and Bill Belichick has actually been on record. It was quite some time ago. He and Rich McKay do not get along. And so I think if Belichick comes in, he's probably telling Arthur Blank, he can't be handling football operations on a day in and day out basis if you want me here. And the reason why they don't get along is because Rich McKay is part of the officiating, what are the
league, the rules committee?
Yeah,
thing?
the rules committee,
yeah.
And that's why they butted heads in the past. And Rich McKay's been a part of that for a long time.
I know you don't want to turn this into Atlanta thing, but this is such an intriguing situation for me. Like, there's so many, like, I could speak to, yes, why I'd love to see that, but also on the other side, it's like, no.
Well, there's a part of me that actually wants, now that I know that Harbaugh is at least available, right? And we've already interviewed him as well.
Go that route.
I would probably, if I'm leaning one way or the other, I'm leaning about 60-40 Harbaugh right now. And here's why. The system is, he does know how to coach, okay? He does know how to coach. He does know how to get the most out of his quarterbacks. Let's not forget what he did when he was in San Francisco. Let's not forget how good Colin Kaepernick was. And let's not forget that Colin Kaepernick was not the same guy after Harbaugh left. And if you want to bring in,
I said that too.
If you want to bring in a guy like a Justin Fields,
plays the same exact way, right?
Might work really well with Harbaugh in Atlanta with all those weapons.
Or
That's one of the main things.
Even if you, what's your pick?
What, quarterback?
No, what's your pick this year in the draft?
Again. I think it's third year in a row.
And I know you hate USC quarterbacks, and that's not where I'm going, right? But hypothetically, somebody in that mold of a runner, more athletic.
Jaden Daniels from LSU.
Somebody falls that spot. Harbaugh is ready-made pickings. You got the position players already in line. Defense is not that bad. You get some free agents for whatever you cap structure move around.
Yeah.
I don't understand what the problem is. I think Harbaugh is the guy.
If it's not Justin Fields, I think it's Jaden Daniels, and I think that
or hell, even if you move a sting and get Russ, he still can work with Harbaugh. Mm-hmm. Harbaugh is a quarterback guy because he played the position.
Yep.
And he wins. He should have won a Super Bowl. That's different. We'll talk about that. That's another time. But he should have won a Super Bowl. He just developed McCarthy, right? What if McCarthy falls to the fourth, fifth round and he takes his guy with him to Atlanta? You never know.
So that's what I got two things for that. One, if Harbaugh goes to Atlanta, which I would be really surprised by. I think he's going back to Cali. I think he goes back to the Chargers.
I wouldn't be surprised by that either, but yeah.
But say if Harbaugh does show up there, you don't have to take your first round pick and take a quarterback. You could wait for whoever, was it McCarthy or JJ?
Yeah.
Whoever the Michigan coach or Michigan guy is, because he said he's the greatest quarterback to play college football. So why would he not want to take him on his team in the NFL? So that was the little.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about Harbaugh, I think about I think about Kaepernick. Like there's like they're married, right?
And Alex Smith.
Yeah, and and he just knows how to get the most out of those guys. I like McCarthy. I don't love him to come in right away. I don't know. Justin Fields or Jaden Daniels just make the most sense to me if he's the guy that comes in. I'd lean more towards Harbaugh myself, but I also tend to agree with Crispy that I think he's probably going to go. He has an opportunity to get back to the West Coast, and I think that's probably where he ends up. Now, of course, he's been at Michigan, so it's not like he can't coach somewhere else, and he's only coached on the West Coast. It's not like when he went to college, he coached on the West Coast, but obviously Michigan's his alma mater. But he can coach anywhere, but if the opportunity presents itself, I mean, coaching in LA or coaching in Atlanta, I don't know.
Do I take the better position players in Atlanta, or do I go take the better quarterback because I'm set if I go there because Herbert re-upped not too long ago, and I go set there and I'm good.
Yeah, I think Atlanta.
He's got a receiver. He's got Keenan Allen. He's got Austin Eckler at running back. Defense is going to have to get some work done, but
you could add pieces in the draft the same exact way. Mm-hmm. He got a decent line out there.
I think Atlanta right now, top to bottom, is still a marginally better football team from top to bottom.
You don't have Justin Herbert.
No, I don't have Justin Herbert.
You don't have Justin
You're
Herbert's,
missing the biggest piece.
and you don't have Justin Herbert's hair.
That's that's true. That's really strong.
I'll just go
but
Pat.
I mean, position players. No Keenan Allen, but I don't know where he's going to necessarily end up, and I think he might be waiting to see what happens out in LA before he makes a decision on his future. Eckler, not the same guy he was this past year, but I will take. I'll take the right type of system with what I have in Bijan Robinson. I have no problem taking him. If you're asking me to pick, if you're saying Bijan over Eckler, I mean, right now, I don't see any reason why Bijan can't perform at the same level. Eckler's been around for a little while longer as well.
Algier's really good too.
Algier's good.
Y'all
Yeah,
look at him like he's garbage. Because of Bijan. No, I'm just saying people.
I
not
love
you.
Algier.
They look at Algier like he's just trash or something.
He's still.
The other thing you could say too is your team is young enough to where Harbaugh's raw college mentality could help your team as well. So
I agree.
Where I think, as we talk about it, that might be tough for Bill. Bill does better with the seasoned veteran kind of guys that want to come in and say, hey, I'm entrusting you to get me that ring.
Right now. That's a young squad.
Which makes no damn sense that he said he wants these rumor reports that he wants to mold. What does he wants to mold?
Right.
Because first of all, even in New England, he didn't draft well.
Right.
Well, they never had to draft.
But
they kept giving their picks away.
But they stockpile picks, right?
Well, that's what
they got 77 picks, and then they move and get a 5th rounder here and move that around. But what did they have? I seen a stat: the only person to re-up off the rookie deal was Dante Hightower.
Yeah,
nobody re-upped off of a rookie contract.
But they didn't want to pay anybody.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So if he's going to bring that same mind frame, right? Hey, the Patriot way, the this way, the that way, I control what you eat when you go to this, when you go to that, when you do this, and when we do that. Like, why would I want to, as a younger player?
Yeah.
That's not going to mesh well in Atlanta. To me.
What about Vrabel?
Oh, Vrabel would be I would go offensive first for your squad, but Vrabel, it would be a good pick too.
Yeah. I wonder if Vrabel gets himself a head coaching job right away. Like, Again,
I'm surprised he's not signed yet.
I like him a lot, but I mentioned this before. Like, Vrabel had a off couple of last seasons, like not great. Definitely not this past year. Remember too, he was a defensive coordinator for the Texans for 2 seasons before he got the head coaching gig, 2 or 3 tops before he got the head coaching gig, and then he's a head coach, and now it's like you get fired. A lot of people thought you shouldn't have, but you do get fired. Do you get that head coaching gig again right away, or do you have to cut your teeth as a defensive coordinator again?
Nah, I think he's
a lot of coaches do though.
I think he's a head coach though now,
right?
Because of what he did in Tennessee,
right?
He had no roster.
No, I mean I get it. I get it.
Ryan Tannehill,
right?
Right. What did he have? Nah, come on, man.
Yeah, it was tough sledding for them, obviously this past season, but I'd love to see Vrabel come in and be my defensive coordinator if he wants to give me a year or two doing that. Like, I'd be okay with that if he doesn't get a head coaching gig right away.
I take all of them over my coach currently.
That's fair. Oh, really? Really? Saleh?
That's another subject.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't want to get that sounds a bit serious. Wow. A couple of other games really quickly that we'll discuss that took place before we get into next week's games. Of course, the Bills over the Steelers. I don't think that the game was necessarily that much of a surprise. Bills have been coming on late in the season. We saw them start getting better and better towards the end of the season. A team that I think we've said this now. I think a couple weeks ago I said it was 5 weeks, and last week I said it was 6-7 weeks. So about just shy of 2 months ago, we were looking at the Bills like, no, you're not even going to make the playoffs. They may have to make more changes than just the offensive coordinator, right? They may have to actually to contemplate, firing the head coach. They may contemplate the possibility of losing Diggs because he doesn't want to play for this franchise anymore because they can't win. Everything. Like, all of these things were things that we discussed, right? Just shy of 2 months ago, and then all of a sudden
their tight ends got healthy,
right? And they flipped the switch.
That's what he needs.
And they are now running the ball. They are having success. The defense is playing well. So really, not really a surprise that the Bills win this game, right?
And the Steelers just suck.
But the question, of course, then becomes what becomes of the Pittsburgh Steelers moving forward. And I'm not just going to say Mike Tomlin, but even though that's already been that's you're seeing some things circulating, right? And we'll just leave it at that. Tomlin says he's going to be back for his 18th season. Guy's never had a losing record. This team has consistently gone to the playoffs. They did a lot with very little this year, especially at the quarterback position.
The past 5 years.
Right. Now, I don't know how much decision making he has when it comes to player personnel. I don't know how much input that he has when it comes to the draft and free agency. Some coaches have more than others. We don't know. We don't really know the answer to that question. You yourself said that they screwed up. We had this conversation a few shows back where the Steelers screwed up by not keeping Dobbs because he was the heir apparent to Ben Roethlisberger. So I don't know how much of that decision that Tomlin had anything to do with. But, they win 10 games this year, quietly win 10 games this year in a very, very strong division. Best division in football. Every single team over 500. We assume Tomlin comes back. Cool. I'm fine with that. We don't have to get into the conversation about whether or not he'll be fired or whether or not he decides he wants to go elsewhere, whatever the case may be. What do the Steelers need to do outside of quarterback? Crispy?
Well, I was just going to say,
quarterback?
If for whatever reason,
that's it.
The Pittsburgh Steelers fire Tomlin.
I'll take him tomorrow.
You guys,
he's coming to the Jets.
He's coming to Atlanta.
You move in all of your chips and say, bro, you could have all control of this.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin in Atlanta. Ooh,
I would
delicious.
I would love that.
Defensive minded guy, but he's going to be able to motivate those young kids. Ooh, he might even be able to get Ritter straight. I don't know. I'm a huge Tomlin fan. I love him. I think he's one of the greatest coaches of all time for football. But, they were without their best player. Watt did not get to play in that game. Granted, he's not going to win the game by himself. But when you have a defensive player of the year kind of person on your team and they're not in the game, it hurts. They just didn't have the offense. Najee Harris is. I don't know about this guy. He's rushed for 1,000 yards every year he's been in, which is really baffling to me. I don't know how he does that, but
it seems like every time I watch him, he's not doing anything.
I know. Yeah. It's like I want more out of him. Wow, I'm drawing a blank on the receiver's name. Pickens
needs to be gone.
Pickens. I mean, he's a fantastic talent. They just can't get the ball to him.
I mean, the fact that Tomlin can't get through to him, he's a problem child.
That is it.
And let me tell you something. He was a problem at Georgia. I don't know if people remember that. He got into a lot of fights. He got suspended for their bowl game a few years ago when he was a sophomore because he got into the fight with the player at Georgia Tech in the back of the end zone. Like he's a hothead.
So you're telling me he's going to be in Kansas City next year?
Shit. If he go there, Mahomes. I mean, he's talented. He's talented.
Oh, he's immensely talented.
Yeah,
something wrong with Steeler receivers.
They're cuckoo.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been shown.
They know how to find them, right?
Antonio Brown. It's like.
But right before that, everything was fine. Hines Ward was the only guy that had his head on straight.
Yeah, because he blocked like crazy, so his brain was rattling every
best
5
blocking
seconds.
wide receiver of all time, and one of the great wide receivers of all time. Period. Like just sick, just ridiculous.
They need an OC in there, an OC who is in like an offensive mind. Like an OC is offense, but they need an OC.
What's the difference between an OC and an OC?
They don't need like a who was there beforehand that they had the problems with Todd Haley.
Yeah.
They don't need something like that. They need like a young, energetic McVay before he became a head coach. Like he was an offensive guy. Kingsbury before he was went to Arizona and shit the bed.
Rumored to be going to Washington, by the way. Interesting. I like a Ben Johnson. In Detroit.
They need a younger guy. Yep. Like, remember when Brian Schottenheimer was the hot thing?
Yep.
And then Shanahan was the hot thing. LaFleur. Like, they need something like that to come in there because they need an OC who's going to gear this. Like, why is Leftwich not there?
I don't know.
Yeah, what happened to him?
I mean,
he
was
about
that.
The next coming of something, and now he's completely gone. Where's he at?
Well, he was in Tampa.
And then he was supposed to get the Jacksonville head coaching job, and then that fell out I don't know whatever happened there.
Is he even coaching?
Nope, he ain't coach all year. Why not just give him the keys? Hey, you got the offense. I'll handle what I'm doing as me and Mike Tomlin. Wow. That would fit.
damn, I'll take him in Atlanta as an OC right now. Wow. I didn't even realize he wasn't coaching. Like, I didn't realize he wasn't coaching at all. I did not realize that.
Yeah, he didn't. He's not even coaching. How did he go from like the hottest commodity after Tom Brady? Like, he was supposed to be pick. Where do you want to go? You get to go pick where you want.
He was the heir apparent in Tampa.
He was supposed to get it after Arians before
Yep.
they gave it to Bowles.
Todd Bowles.
Yeah, Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
He used to coach us as bum.
Yeah.
He was our interim head coach at
was in
one
Atlanta
point
for a
too.
little while too. Yeah, so I don't know. There's a lot of decision making that has to go on with the Steelers.
I don't like the Steelers anyway, so I don't care. So.
Najee Harris is not a bad back. Their system is not giving him his strong suits.
Right.
They put him on the edge too much. He's not Le'Veon Bell. He's not a east-west guy. He's a north-south.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Stick his foot in the ground, hit the hole.
Go.
They don't do that. They like Warren a little bit better because he fits what they like under whatever regime they have. And Warren's not a better back than Najee Harris.
Right.
I'm sorry.
He's just
not.
a different back.
He's a different change of pace back, which is fine. But you need somebody to bring out all those suits because Pickens always wants the damn ball. They got a decent Fryer Smooth is not bad.
Right.
They seem like they hit on the offensive line after Pouncey and everybody let go.
Yep.
It's just they don't have a quarterback. Like, that's their major problem, and they need an OC to rein them all in and focus because the defense is always going to be the defense. They always find somebody to play defense there.
Always.
And everybody's going to run through a wall for Tomlin.
And another defense that kept a team in the hunt, much like Kansas City, a defense that kept them in games, gave them opportunities, even though they went through I don't know how many quarterbacks this year. What were you going to say, Crispy?
I was saying James Conner when he was in Pittsburgh, I thought he was fantastic for them.
Yep.
And then they draft Najee and they say peace out to Conner.
They didn't want to pay him.
Conner goes to Phoenix. I love the dude. That dude is a solid running back.
Yeah.
James
very much
Conner,
so. Yep.
I love him.
When he's healthy, absolutely.
Yeah, and he's been healthy lately.
Yeah.
Good point. Good
Past
point.
2 years. No, the
He missed
past
some
2
games
years,
next
yeah.
year.
That's
Yeah.
why they moved on from him there,
Yeah.
but they didn't want to pay him either. So they don't like paying running backs, apparently. So Najee will be on the block soon.
Yep.
Because they don't like paying running backs.
Najee will end up going somewhere that might actually utilize his skill set. Should the Eagles fire Sirianni?
Hell
No.
yeah. I said that way back when we found out
No.
he was from upstate somewhere.
He's in New York. He's from New York.
No, he's a douchey New Yorker. He's not my
From
New Yorker.
Johnson, New York.
No.
Johnson, New York.
Yeah, he needs to be fired.
Nah, I keep him. Again, this goes back to the whole McCarthy kind of thing. Philly is 1 year removed from the Super Bowl. They had a great year. Yeah, they fell apart in the second half, but Nasty, I believe you brought this up. You know, the teams that play in the Super Bowls the year before, they don't really come back the next year. They usually struggle next year. So they just happened to surprise us the first 3 quarters of the year, and then finally was like, oh, yeah, it's a hangover, kind of piece. A.J. Brown fell apart, whatever that, piece happened. I think they missed some of those pieces. That kid in Carolina, I always forget his name, the running back.
Miles Sanders,
I think, was a big part of their running game last year. And then Jalen Hurts became human, if you will, towards the end of the season and just was mediocre. He wasn't that phenomenal kind of guy. I think the injuries piled up on him, and he, stuck it out and did what he could with the injuries that he was dealing with. And I'm not firing him. I'm keeping him.
I think the thing that I'm going to go to you in a second. One of the things that strikes me here is the Brown situation. I'm assuming that it's something to do with the coaching staff, but we don't know who. We don't know if it's the head coach or the OC or something. But you guys both said it last week when we talked. There's something not right there, right? And then all of a sudden he hurt himself and he wasn't playing, but he was ringside at a boxing match like a couple nights ago. Wasn't with the team. And so I think the thing for me is the question marks around has Sirianni lost the locker room, right? And I think that's a huge key. And again, we can only speculate. We don't know for sure. Will we ever really know? I don't know that that's going to be the case. Maybe they're more like the organization that's going to keep things behind closed doors, which is somewhat refreshing nowadays, to be quite honest with you, because now we know everything. And sometimes I think you should just keep your mouth shut, and I don't need to know, and you handle your business behind closed doors. But if he's lost the locker room, with the way they fell apart too. So remember, 10-1 to start the season, but it was smoke and mirrors, right? Fine. No problem. I'm not mad at you for that.
Yeah, we seen when their downfall happened when they lost to the Jets.
I'm not mad at you for that, right? You found a way to win. You found a way to win. You went 10-1 to start the season. I'm not mad at you for how you did it. A win is a win is a win, right?
Absolutely.
But then you fall apart. And then the issue that I have at the very end of your season, you go into Tampa, who, by the way, everybody else in this room was pretty certain that, like, Tampa, they beat Carolina the last week of the season 9-0. They're not a very good football team. Mayfield and company blow you out of the water. You lose that game 32-9. You didn't lose it on a last-second field goal in a competitive game. You lost it in the fashion in which you didn't act like you wanted to be there. You got your ass handed to you like you're on a JV squad, and that to me speaks volumes. And I think that's where this organization is going to have to look. And if they're looking at things internally and behind closed doors, and they're going to have meetings, they're going to have conversations with all the players and all of the other coordinators and everything else, they're going to get their story. They're going to get the information they need to make a decision on the future of their head coach. If he lost the locker room, it's a huge problem.
I told you that. I told you it was something in the water with the A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. And then we saw it on the sideline again. Like, A.J. Brown's not even there. Phantom injury, not playing. But then Hurts, not the finger situation, because I know how fingers hurt right now. Not the finger situation. Him on the sideline, he was not there.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like he didn't want to be there. It was something more internally. And then Goddard was giving it to him on the sideline.
Yep.
That's a tight end that's been there, and they always have good tight ends in Philly.
Always.
But that's a tight end who he's not as vocal as a diva receiver.
Right.
Why is he giving you the problems on the sideline?
It's almost like, it just seemed to me like a lot of the guys just didn't want to be there. They were ready to be in Cancun. They were ready to take vacation. They didn't want to be there and play.
And it's
Tired.
It's their style of play. They need somebody to hone that in there too. And if we could, hot take, Jalen Hurts is not a good quarterback.
That would be my piece. Does Philly need to really reevaluate Jalen? Is he gonna be their future? Oh wait, he just signed an extension.
The record-breaking extension for himself.
Yeah,
but
so now they've made their bed.
Right.
With that.
You didn't even want him initially. Remember, it was still a toss-up of, should we start him over Wentz, right? Before they got rid of Wentz. It's like they threw him in there. Oh, he's playing decent, but he didn't win many games, and then he's not. We don't know if we're gonna commit to him.
Right.
Like, he's not the whole tush-push situations and
which got
running
stopped, by the way.
And all of
in that game against the Bucks, they stopped it. First team to do it.
All of the mobileness, which he's good at.
Yeah.
But
he's got a good arm.
We seen this in Alabama before he left to go to Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
He's a solid-ish quarterback, but he's not a quarterback. He's not going to sit there and cannon it away.
Well, you can win. I mean, obviously they got close to doing it. You can win a championship with a quarterback of his caliber.
You can.
You can win a championship with that.
He just might not have enough talent.
He may not. I'm curious about A.J. Brown's situation. Like I said, I don't know how much of this we're going to find out. Devonta Smith was pretty much a non-factor. Once A.J. Brown is a non-factor, then Smith becomes a non-factor. They play off each other well, right? So obviously without A.J. Brown there, they can just key on Smith, and then you're going to be forced to just go underneath all the time. And the Buccaneers are a good defensive team. They're too fast.
They're fast.
Way too fast for you to
DeAndre
get away
Swift
with
had a really good year.
Right.
Losing Miles Sanders was important because he was there.
Yeah.
But Swift had a really good year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But they didn't have that dual back like they did in the Super Bowl year.
Right.
And
Change
then,
of pace,
with AJ and Smith, with that offense, and then the defense, as we've been talking about this, that defensive front for Philly they're long in the tooth now.
Older. Brandon Graham
and
Fletcher Cox. Yep.
Did they get? Did they end up picking an end?
They did.
Did they get
a Georgia
did they get one of the ones from Washington?
No, they got Sweat is there too. That's another
Sweat. Okay.
Well, they got Jordan Davis. Right. They got Jordan Davis.
Yeah,
as
they
well.
drafted the young guys from Go Dogs.
Yeah, all the dogs. They just keep drafting all of them.
So,
they even got a linebacker.
Nakobe Dean,
safety,
right?
Yep. Jesus.
Slay kind of fell apart towards the end of the season.
The secondary was hurt. They missed both of their safeties this game too. So
and the secondary wasn't great to begin with. I said this at the beginning of the year.
And they brought back Maddox, who was coming off a bicep tear. So he was playing with the big old thing on his arm.
Bradbury
had a decent year initially.
Yeah.
But they were hurt.
But he was
the
in-
secondary was
One
hurt.
more year.
Bradbury just got smoked in
He
that
did,
game.
but they
He
were
got
hurt.
smoked. Yeah, he got smoked in that gear.
So one more
Look,
year.
I can see them running it back again. But
Sirianni's a douche though.
But I think that the Brown question has to be answered. They've got to get better defensively. I am curious now if
I
Brown
know
is
it's
the
easy
actual
to say, but get rid of Brown.
if Brown is the problem, then much like we talked about Pickens in Pittsburgh, if Brown is the problem, then move on.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
because
why? When we could just pacify him like they do Stephon Diggs out in Buffalo,
100%.
right?
But you've
Philly ain't doing
invested
that.
so much money in Jalen Hurts. If Hurts and Brown cannot get along, Brown's got to go.
You could bring in another receiver.
100% you can.
Yeah.
There's a lot of receivers out there.
I agree.
Oh yeah, receivers are dime a dozen now, and they're all good too.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think AJ Brown's one of the better receivers in the league. But if he's a cancer in the locker room, then you got to move on. If it's not working between him and Hurts, just move on, man. You can find somebody else. There's receivers out there.
Their
in free
personalities don't mesh.
Philly's
agency.
history.
At all.
Big time receiver in Philly too. T.O. Remember, everything was fine and dandy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All fell apart. Next
Coming
season
off a
after the
Super Bowl too, right?
Yep.
Yep. It was the
Coming
year
off
after the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yep. Man, if AJ was out in front of the house doing some workouts,
Sitting on that bench with the dumbbells.
Doing some sit-ups in the garage with Drew Rosenhaus
Yeah.
sitting next to.
Unbelievable. Absolutely
Classic.
unbelievable.
That's classic.
Those were the days.
Classic moment. in
Those
history
were the
right there.
days right there. Him and Randy Moss both giving it to us. Let's talk.
But Sirianni got the popcorn dumped on his head because he deserved it because he's a douchebag.
He definitely did. Let's preview the divisional round, right? So we know that obviously the Texans move on, Packers move on, and we know the Bucks with their victory over the Philadelphia Eagles, and of course we saw the Chiefs and the Bills this past weekend as well. Now the Chiefs and Bills, of course, will do battle. This is going to be in
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
With the two snowstorms
yeah.
they done had the past week.
Yeah. I will say this.
Put a damn dome
Besides
up there.
one game, so here are the 4 games, right? We're looking at Texans, Ravens, we're looking at Packers, Niners, we've got Bucks and Lions, and we've got Chiefs and Bills. You know, this is clearly a more difficult pick for me this week, picking these games than it was this past weekend. Like when I'm looking at these games, I don't know.
Why?
Because
I'm locked already. Let's go.
Well, him being locked very quickly clearly didn't help last week. So
anything will be better than last week.
Hold on.
Here are the
Allah, you didn't
excuses.
hear my reasoning why I picked my games the way I did.
Here we go.
Okay, I'm listening.
So there was some reasoning behind it, but I know we're getting close on time, so we'll save it.
All right. So I think there's teams in here you can't sleep on. I think that these are going to be phenomenal games. I think all these games are going to be really, really good. I think the Texans are going to give Ravens everything they can handle.
Win.
What's in that Yeti?
Houston.
You're taking Texans, right?
Yup.
Yeah, you're taking Texans. Crispy, who you taking?
Ravens.
Yeah.
This is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I'm even going to go as far as they win by at least 20.
Well, Lamar Jackson. Not Lamar Jackson. What's the receiver guy? The dancing dude. Oh, Odell. Yeah, his old ass.
Yeah.
Put them on another yacht. Whenever he puts people on the yacht, they
Oh,
lose.
don't
Did he
say
do
that.
that?
They went on a yacht like last week.
Oh dear.
So yeah, that's a loss.
a loss.
CJ Stroud,
All right,
baby.
Hold on. Hey, big news though. Mark Andrews is back. So Lamar's going to get his favorite weapon back. They're healthy. They got a full week off. That yacht thing is disturbing. I didn't know about that. Ravens though. Hey, I love the Texans. I love everything that they're doing right now. I just wish it wasn't against the Ravens.
Is Cinderella story coming to a close at this point?
Yeah, it's
They
still
got-
a great
they
run.
got
That
the
is
MVP.
that's going to be a dangerous team coming up.
He should get MVP votes and he's not. MVP of the league.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud.
He'll get offensive rookie of the year. He already got it wrapped. He's done.
See, that's hate.
Allah.
Better
Allah,
numbers
go
than
ahead.
Lamar.
Allah, go ahead.
No.
Who picked him as rookie of the year?
You did. You had that one.
Oh, you did too.
I mean,
I was telling you, go ahead, pat yourself on the back.
you know they
got it.
they hate Ohio State quarterbacks, but it's okay.
That's true. All right, go ahead. Next round.
I love the Ravens in this game. I think that this is I think the Cinderella story comes to an end. I'm not going to be mad if the Texans win. I think it's going to be. I still think it's going to be a good game. I don't think that Ravens run away. We got Packers 49ers. Look,
The way they beat Dallas last week, you never know.
Dude, I mean, Crispy said it, and I totally agree with it. He said this in pregame. Do not sleep on the Packers, man. Like,
nah, they come back down to earth.
The way they're how can they come back down to earth, but the Texans can't?
Well, it's different. They went in and beat a disgruntled, dysfunctional franchise in Dallas. The 49ers
They weren't disgruntled or none of that before the game.
Just because they went 12-4 or whatever their record is, don't mean they don't have internal issues.
Right, but we didn't know anything about it. So that's speculating.
Stuff.
It's complete speculation.
Christian McCaffrey's healthy.
Okay.
Debo is healthy.
Okay.
George Kittle is healthy. I don't like Brock Purdy, but that defense is healthy.
Yeah.
Fred Warner is the best middle linebacker in football.
It's going to be a good game, though. This is going to be a good game.
Let Aaron Jones run up that, meet me in that hole.
The Packers will do their fair share of damage in this game. I think they'll do their fair share of damage.
They don't play well in San Francisco.
Allah's got Niners.
I do like Niners as well. I'm
in
going
the
to take
playoffs, they don't play well.
I got Niners as well. It's my Super Bowl team, so I got to take. I got to take them.
All right.
Well, he got one right so far.
Yeah. We got Bucks Lions. I think also going to be I think this is going to be a good game.
Lions going to beat them by 50.
Okay, what have you been drinking? What in the hell's in this cup?
I do like the Lions in this as well. I don't know about 50,
cup.
but they could maybe get them by 30. I think the Bucks.
I think they're going to blow them out
last week. Yeah.
Remember, Todd Bowles had to answer a question too, like how they going to play in the weather, the cold, frigid weather out there in Detroit, because it's like -2 out there.
Yeah, can somebody get that reporter fired, please? He asked him about playing in cold weather when they're playing in a dome.
He said, "Well, I don't think that's gonna.
It's not gonna be a problem.
We're playing indoors, so
I mean, see, this is what I'm talking about.
I see a meme with that with Mike Tomlin. Remember when they asked him about his coaching and he just turned around and walked away?
Right off.
Walk right out.
I should have been Todd Bowles and be like.
So, so before I give you my pick, so obviously both of you are taking the Lions, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Highest price divisional game ever, by the way. The average ticket price for this Bucks Lions game is $1,186. That's the average price for a ticket at this game. The previous record was last year between the Cowboys and 49ers, and that was only a $605 average price per ticket.
All them people in Detroit paying that $1,000
easily,
happily.
sold out.
You know why though? It's because they had. Did you see the crowd singing "Lose Yourself" last week?
Yes, I did.
That was because M was there. He was in the stadium.
M was there. Way better than.
And they were all rapping it too.
I will not say that person's name that goes to the Kansas City Chiefs games, but she should not swag surf ever in her life.
No, she should not.
It was disgusting. It was disgrace to my culture.
I really hoped we were going to get through this without you bringing that up.
Well, I mean, because music with
so
M.
Close.
Hey, that could have been the most white people rapping at one time in the history.
Hey, but they nailed it, though.
They were on point.
They nailed it, though.
Well,
that is their national anthem.
Right.
That's their national anthem up there.
Yep. 100%.
But you seen the picture of the Detroit legends too.
Yeah.
Barry, they treated them well. Other than Stafford,
right.
They treated all the rest of them well.
This is a great story. I like the Lions in this game. I don't think it's going to be by a lot, but I will take the Lions in this game. Which then leaves us the final game is Chiefs and Bills. By the way, you're the only person that's taking the Texans. So okay, got it. Chiefs Bills. Who we got? Everybody taking the Bills here?
I don't care. I gotta pick.
All of a sudden, do you not?
Now,
care
y'all
about
pick.
this game?
I'm gonna figure it out.
How
I
do
don't care about either one of them, to be honest with you.
Do you really care about all the other ones?
No, I mean
It's
I
time.
do.
It's time. Buffalo finally gets to play Kansas City at home in a playoff game. It's
Buffalo
time.
wins it.
Buffalo wins this. Could be by 2 touchdowns.
Is this going to set up Buffalo and Baltimore? Ooh.
Oh yeah, in Baltimore.
Will say though is if they lose at home finally, having a home playoff game against Kansas City
against the Chiefs team, it's not as
something.
It's got to change.
Yes. So I don't know.
A lot of pressure on them to deliver.
The Bills should get rid of Josh Allen to Miami.
Here we.
Right.
You know what?
Everybody goes to Miami.
Everybody goes to Miami.
Man, that guy is so good. God, he owns us.
It's gonna be cold up there. I don't
Damn,
know.
Josh Allen.
Shout
why are
out
you
to
so good?
Griselda because I love Griselda and they love Buffalo music.
Nasty, you
but
going to take the Chiefs here? Come on.
I'm thinking
Go ahead.
I'm leaning
Sauce,
Chiefs too.
make it saucy here.
No, I can't, man. I love
Yeah,
Buffalo in this
Bill's
game.
turn, right? It's Bill's turn.
I wanted to, it would be nice to take the other team, but the way the Bills are playing would just be silly for me to take the Chiefs. You're taking the Chiefs, aren't you?
I don't know. I don't. You heard me earlier. I don't think the Chiefs are very good, but
this is also their time of year.
If something happens,
Right.
If Mahomes' helmet stays together, I think they might pull it out.
You taking Chiefs?
Yeah. Buffalo has a couple hurt defenders.
Right.
They lost their middle linebacker last game too.
Kansas City does have the better kicker in this.
And their punter just pulled a hamstring. They're
Yeah.
bringing another punter, Casey.
Maybe it's lining up for Kansas City.
Casey.
I'm going to let you take this last story.
What? Fuck James Dolan?
Oh, my.
Oh,
Period.
I'm out.
That's it. He needs to sell the damn team. He's nasty. He's disgusting.
Crispy literally left.
He's nasty. Not you nasty.
Not me
He's
nasty.
nasty.
Yeah.
He's a disgusting guy. First of all, he didn't run the franchise very well. We've been wanting to get rid of him.
Right.
He also recently said that, hey, I don't like owning teams.
Then why do you own a team?
Why do you own multiple teams?
Right.
Get Dolan the hell out of here. This is what Knicks fans and Rangers fans and New York fans have been clamoring for years.
Well, this may be
Get rid of Dolan.
This may be the opportunity, because the story behind this, in case those of you who are listening to this rant do not know exactly what happened, a woman has filed a federal lawsuit against James Dolan, alleging that the executive chairman and CEO of Madison Square Garden Sports sexually assaulted and trafficked her in late 2013 and early 2014. I'll go past some of the other
10 years?
I tried not to go into the story part. It's still nasty, but yeah, dog, 10 years was
10
crazy to me.
years?
But
I know,
I'll
I
stay
know.
away from that
Come
because
on.
it's sensitive.
Come
It's a
on.
sensitive subject. I'll stay away from that part. But the nasty part also came in where he was like, she said that he took her to a California party and gave her to
Harvey Weinstein. Yeah.
That's where it starts becoming like, all right, dog.
Weinstein allegedly chased her into a hotel room and sexually assaulted her. Croft is her name. Accuses Dolan of setting her up, stating James Dolan manipulated me, brought me to California to abuse me, and then set me up for a vicious attack by Weinstein. Kraft said she told Dolan about the alleged Weinstein assault immediately after it happened. Dolan said years later that he knew nothing of Weinstein's misconduct despite being friends with him. I mean, the fact that Dolan is friends with Harvey Weinstein anyway, that's enough. Like even if none of this happened, you were friends with this individual. Like, and I know when I read this and you sent this over, I was like, this is the opportunity of a lifetime for Knicks fans to finally get this guy to sell his team. And he will get pressured to. Like, if this ends up being, if there's more, look, I know it's a lot of years later, and I'm not one. I always sort of say, why did you wait so long for something like this to come out? Like, why did you wait so long? Look, I don't know this individual. I'm not going to pretend like I know. A lot of times, especially when it comes to women, and you've heard these stories before, is that there's a fear factor there, like that coming out is somewhat, fearful. They fear for their lives. And when you're talking about Weinstein too, and the type of power that both those two individuals hold over people, so a lot of these do come out years later. This is commonplace now. Like, this happens all the time. But the fact that he's affiliated with Weinstein is just
That was the disturbing part to me. The sexual assault, trafficking, yes. Hell, I'm up to season 13 in Law and Order because the new season starts tomorrow for season 25. So I'm up to 13 right now. I'll be there, by tomorrow. But we see it all the time. We just seen it with Diddy.
Yeah.
We just seen it with all the Cosby beforehand. Yeah. Or we see a lot of it happen years upon years later. But when you're attached to Weinstein, and he's already been convicted.
Oh, he's in prison. Yeah, I mean, he's not coming out.
26 and I think another 13 on top of that, and something on top.
Yeah. He's going to die in prison. He's not getting out. Like, that's going to happen. I think the thing for me is if anybody else can corroborate this story, and that's going to be the key, right? That's going to be key here. And if anybody else can, if there's any information, if she can say I was here, there, and everywhere, and that could be corroborated through whatever records or something like that she was in this place at this particular time, then who knows? Who knows what'll happen here?
If a piece of it is real, like a piece, even one piece, they got rid of Donald Sterling really quick.
Yeah,
they made him sell really quick. This is your.
Would you not go to?
This is New York. This is one of the pillars of the NBA.
Yep.
Whether they win
Would
or
you
not.
go to Weinstein? He's in prison. He's going to sit there for the rest of his life anyways, right?
Yeah.
Would you not just go to him like, bro, did you do this? Be like, yeah.
Apparently
he's already in
said
jail.
Yeah, he's apparently his lawyers already released a statement saying that he's already denies these allegations.
So this is all on Dolan.
Still lying in prison.
Right.
This is all on Dolan.
Yeah.
Dolan, bye.
Yeah,
We don't want you no more. We didn't want you to begin with.
that's fair.
Sell Cablevision, sell MSG. First of all, they're selling streaming platform for $22.99 a month. I'm not paying $22.99 a month for the MSG network, no matter how much I want to see the Knicks.
Right. You don't have to anymore either, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, they're on ESPN a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So why am I going to pay for a locally branded? And I get the magnitude of what he does.
Right.
Well, not him. The Knicks do
Sure.
there, and the Rangers do,
Yep.
and the Garden, all of that. The Mecca. Bye, Dolan.
Yeah, I mean,
$1,000.
this story right here is that if anything actually took place, and these allegations, if any of these are true, it's a terrible story. But on looking at it from a lighter side, I remember just reading this, going, this is that opportunity.
We've been waiting for this.
This is that opportunity.
It was like Christmas for me.
I really do hope that it didn't happen. Right, like
Absolutely.
this is like when you hear about these things, it's just so cringeworthy. So I just wanted to kind of give you the floor there. I know this was something that you were very passionate about. So, a couple of people have commented. Vibes up there. Haven't heard from him in quite some time. Says first time tuning in, wishing us all the best of luck. And of course,
say that again.
Vibes.
Is his name Vibes?
Yeah.
This is a vibe. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I can't pronounce that.
Right.
Vibes?
What is that? VAB?
Yeah. That's how it's his official spelling of his name right there, but he goes by Vibes.
I just like I just want to know the official pronunciation of his name.
Well, I'll ask him for you.
Because I'm not Allah. Remember that. I'm Allah.
And you don't
So
eat
I don't
pork.
want to
Got it.
mispronounce his name. So
Hey,
thank you for being first time, bro.
His name is Vibes. That's what
he's a trained
that's what he goes by.
UFC fighter. So
Ooh, all right.
careful.
Got you, dog.
Got you, dog. All right. So really quickly, top 5. I didn't have an opportunity to research this, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to give you a couple of.
Shit, we're still doing that?
I'm going to give you
I never even looked. All right.
Give me.
Really
You know what?
winging this
Here,
one now.
You know what? Here, I have one really, really good one. I've got one really, really good one. What did we even say it was? Top 5
playoff performances.
playoff performances? Yeah. I've got one really good one. I don't know why. I don't know why you wouldn't have this on your top 5.
Colin Kaepernick.
No.
Damn,
No, it's the one that stands out to me the most because I remember where. Why is it hate?
I don't know. You hate Colin Kaepernick.
No, I don't.
Oh, I got one. You're gonna
Put words
love
on
it.
my mouth. Is it? All right, give me one.
Oh, that's a pronunciation.
I haven't even got to number 5. I only got 1, 2, and 3 so far.
Albev.
Number 3 for me is Mike Vick when he went to Green Bay and beat Green Bay.
Yes, that's one.
Yep,
That's on my list.
that's
too.
on my list too. Yep,
Absolutely.
Yep.
Um,
Crispy, you can just give us the list and then
We'll
we
put-
can just agree
we'll
with you.
put-
I got number 2, Dan Marino, just because he had to have had a good playoff game somewhere.
just because he had to.
Yep. Number 1 for me, Randy Moss. He did something, I'm sure, really good in the playoffs. So
you know
Randy
what?
Moss.
We're just going to cancel this one. Just get rid of this.
I just have a couple that I want to throw.
No,
out
we
there.
go.
There's one for me that I have that. Speaking of which, it was Falcons over the Packers again. The Julio Jones performance against the Packers in the NFC Championship game, the year they went to the Super Bowl. Like Julio went off in that game, like just ridiculous. The other one that I know you guys have got to have on your list. This is one of the great single. It's the entire performance is great, but it's one play.
That's why I was going too.
It's one play, and it's Marshawn Lynch for Seattle
beast mode
over
run.
the New Orleans
Oh, it's the
Saints.
beast mode
Like
run. Yeah.
that was just that play alone is in itself legendary. So
I have
gotta have that one up there.
Number 5, I have the New England Patriots Super Bowl comeback victory.
Which one? The one that they were given, each one of them, because they should
one
have
against
lost to the Panthers, right? That they was given that game. Ooh, Deshaun Foster in the Super Bowl with the kick return run back. He had a really good game. That was a highlight, sticks out to me. Von Miller for the
New
Broncos.
York,
That was really
Saints
the Super Bowl game.
onside kick.
Yeah, like what?
Super
Like
Bowl?
4 sacks.
Oh yeah.
He went off that game.
Yeah.
All right, what's our top 5 for next week so we can have that? For
Top 5 Royal Rumble winners and performances.
Ooh. Yep, you know who
Or
I'm
your
picking.
moments of the Rumble.
Okay,
Just
all right.
because it's Rumble season.
Okay.
The 27th is the, what's it, 20-something, 30? Damn, 32nd Royal Rumble or
Yeah.
something like that. I don't know how long it is. Yeah, nah, it's going to be really good. That's why I wore my Mick Foley shirt today for y'all. It's the Cactus Jack version.
Nick
of Mick
Foley.
Who Crispy said was who?
Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who, by the way, won.
Oh!
What you know why I'm gonna give it to him on that? Other than him thinking this is Hacksaw Jim Duggan, he won the first Royal Rumble, so I'm gonna give it to you on that one. It ties in.
There you go. Number
yeah,
5, Hacksaw.
This is definitely Cactus Jack. Not.
Oh!
Oh, now you got fireworks in the background. Oh, Lord,
that's
I love these
so
gestures.
good.
Why have I just learned these?
Oh, that's so
This
fantastic.
is fantastic.
Oh man, that's so
Hacksaw
good.
Jim Duggan
That's number 5 on my list.
with the 2x4. Like, God damn, man.
Oh, that's so great. All right, good stuff.
Hacksaw Jim
We actually got done
Ooh,
pretty
Frank
much on
Watchak.
time.
Yes, the
Oh,
miracle.
yes.
What is the Music City Miracle?
Yep.
Yep.
Which a lot of people still believe was a forward pass, but
It was.
it was.
Why not Frank Wright? Right?
What?
In the comeback for the Bills, Frank Wright, wasn't he the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills in that 31-point comeback against Houston
the
Oilers?
Oilers? Was it right?
Yeah.
Was quarterback in that team?
Frank Wright?
I
Yeah,
don't know.
the head coach at Carolina that just got fired.
Right. Look it up real quick because I don't know that he was the guy.
I'm gonna tell you the
Yeah.
truth.
I know he was the guy.
Oh, it was definitely him. Oh, okay. I thought you were questioning
Right.
it. I thought you were like,
I don't care about.
No, I'm
nothing
saying,
about
could
Buffalo.
he be one of those? You're talking about the miracle.
yeah, that performance was ridiculous.
that
I
one,
actually
but
had
Buffalo Bills one.
I actually had the pleasure of you were there for this. I had the pleasure of interviewing Warren Moon, and I asked him about that game. Do you remember that? I asked him about that game because he went public about his disdain for the media and the way they were treating Cam Newton. And I looked at you and Phil, and I was like, "Get me Warren Moon on the phone." And we got Warren Moon on the phone probably about a half an hour later, and Warren Moon came on, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Came on, and we had an opportunity to speak to him. He wouldn't tell us who it was that he was singling out specifically. But then I did ask him, because we had just talked to John McEnroe prior to that and asked him about the fire and ice thing that he did with Bjorn Borg, and how McEnroe had said that he was cool with Bjorn Borg after all these years and everything else. And I happened to ask Warren Moon, I said, "Hey, we just had this discussion with John McEnroe. How do you feel about like that particular game that you ended up losing with Buffalo coming all the way back to beating you in that game after all these years? Are you over that or whatever?" And he was like, "No."
Flat out.
He flat out was like,
Nah.
absolutely not. I'm not friends with any of them. I think he even said that game haunts me every day, every single day. And he was like, absolutely not. I'm not cool with it. I haven't forgotten about it. I'm not over it. I'm never going to get over it. And I was like,
That's a fact.
yeah. So that was one of the great interviews we had. We actually interviewed that guy too. Interviewed Bill Romanowski.
He is
if you remember
crazy,
correctly.
yes.
He was crazy, but he's a great interview though.
You know how hard it was to get him on the phone?
Very hard to get him on the phone. And then when we got him on the phone, we could barely get him off the phone because he never stopped talking.
He sounded like he should have been in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, he probably could have been.
Crazy.
Yeah, some good times there for sure. Looking forward to some interviews moving forward. I'm getting excited about that. I thought about that over the last few days when I was on vacation. I thought this is something that we're gonna.
Don't tell
definitely
Christian
gonna
to do
start
some
doing.
goddamn work.
I'm gonna try. Yeah. Well, it's his first day, so you gotta let him. You gotta cut him some slack. So. All right. Speaking of Christian, appreciate you. Thank you very much for what you do on that side. For Ala here to my left, Crispy joining us, of course, from Greenville, South Carolina. I am Jonas Mount.
Socials.
Yeah, bring it on.
Instagram, Twitter, X. Don't know what it's called.
Threads.
Facebooks, Threads, all of them. BallzOut, BallzOut out sports. BallzOut sports on all of them thingies.
I love how you can see it in the corner too. I just think that's
What are we
fantastic.
looking
How you can see
Oh,
it.
it's down there in the bottom.
Yeah, and they change.
Oh, Christian did his job for a change.
See how they change? I love it. I absolutely love that.
So yeah, I'm not gonna just that thing over there in the corner somewhere. Point to it. There you go. Right. That thing. Oh no, it's closer now. Oh.
Right there.
Not this.
Not that thing. No, not.
Oh yeah, this thing. Oh, there it goes. That.
There we go.
Holla at this thing right here. That thing. Yeah, that thing. Follow us. We've been posting like crazy. We're getting some good engagement out there. Yeah, we got some lovely ladies that I post on there a lot. I'm gonna post about Law and Order SVU season 25 starts tomorrow.
We just talk about anything on this show.
Yeah, no, it's why it's the #1 sports and recreational podcast in South Carolina. That's us. Holla at us. Shalashashka51 on all your socials too. Not gonna spell it. You gotta spell it yourself.
He can't even spell it. That's why he's not gonna spell it for you.
SHASKLA 51.
Okay.
Shalashashka 51.
I do remember asking you how to spell it once, and you were like, I can't remember how to spell it.
And no, I spelled it the other day. That's why.
Okay, you remember what it was.
Yeah.
Good job. All right, so great stuff. Had a blast. Had a good time talking about this. Obviously, we've got a lot of football to get to still. We know that the offseason's coming. We know that the NBA trade deadline is right around the corner as well, so we're going to be getting heavy into some basketball talk. College basketball is on the way. We know we got a draft coming up soon. Even though the fact that football season is going to be ending officially after the Super Bowl, there's still so much more to talk about. And I love the offseason of the NFL because there's all the storylines. There's the combine, there's the draft, there's free agency, and there's always great storylines. And really looking forward to having some conversations and some interviews when the opportunity presents itself there for sure once we get past football season. So for the fellas, I am Jonas Mount. This has been episode 016. We are Balls Out Sports. We'll see you next time.
Suck it, jabronis.
Stay hydrated.
Yo, watch the podcast, dog. All right? You get to see me and me with my broken ass finger, okay? I'm here. What is this, Tuesdays? Every Tuesday night from 9 to 11. Live on the YouTubes. Check us out on all the socials. At Shalashaka51. That's me, first of all. I got to promote myself, even with my broken digit. Secondly, I'm a
Nobody cares.
Almost lost my life. Secondly, I'm promoting this show, which is at BallzOut Sports. BALLZ. That hurt. BALZ out Sports on all your socials. Christian, they should be that area. Load them into the belt.